Hello, Ghana. Good morning to all our viewers, Ghanaians and non-Ghanaians as well. Foreigners who are watching us via their internet, Ghanaians also outside of Ghana who are watching us, and all Ghanaians here who are watching us live on TV or via Facebook or whichever portal you're watching us from. It's a brand new morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 6th of October 2021, and it's my good self, Lady Julia, here. I'm here to carry you through to the end of the show. Perhaps by 10 a.m. I'll still be here, but as it's a brand new day, what's the word of inspiration? I took something specially for my viewers this morning, and I believe it's going to do good things for you today. What I want to say it centers on gratitude, being grateful, thankfulness. And this is what it says. This is the excerpt. It says, gratitude can never be outdated. I think that's a very profound statement. Gratitude can never be outdated. Even when somebody does something, for you, and you've already thanked them, and it's even a month, a year passed, and you still go back to remember to thank that person. Believe you me, it does do wonders. And it says, I continue to read, it never gets old, but rather it enlarges our hearts with a content feeling and our lives with the right energy. So we do get a content feeling that we matter, that somebody has us in regard and respects our contribution. And also it gives someone the right energy. It does push somebody with the right energy. It spurs you on with good vibes and good energy. The best form of wealth is when we take stock of our blessings. The best form of wealth is when we take stock of our blessings and are grateful for them. Who else deserves our utmost gratitude than our Creator? For me, I always make sure the first thing I do when I wake up is to give or to show my thankfulness, my gratitude, my appreciation to my Creator who has sustained me throughout the night as well. I will never stop thanking God for every day, for the gifts and for the opportunities won, even those lost, because them in the hands of the Creator are even a plus. Yes, even opportunities lost, and mainly for the one more chance to be alive. I will never run out of gratitude. Oh yes, I would never run out of gratitude. I think I lost that. I will never run out of what to be grateful for. Oh yes, and thank you for another day. Thank you for another week. Thank you for another month. And thank you for another year of our lives. I know without you, I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful for all of you as well. I'm showing gratitude right now to you listening to me, to you watching me. And I know you also have a lot to be grateful for. We at Adoatv, where we bring good things to life, say thank you to all our viewers this morning, through my lips, of course, to you. I think that once we have life, it is another opportunity to be grateful. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you. A nice opportunity to be grateful. So extend the heart of gratitude to all others, those around you. I extend them to our team. Yes, Nanyama was here earlier, called Miss Collison. I really love her surname. We are grateful to have you on our team. Grateful to Selassie, yes, back there. Grateful to Uncle Dan. Grateful to Uncle Reggie. Grateful to Billy. Yes, to Patty. All of you, we form a very wonderful and a warm family. Grateful to you. Now we want to be grateful to our sponsors. So we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. I'll be back to come and give you stories that make up the newspaper headlines. I'll be here. Grateful you will wait. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Amalindate, a proud ambassador for Sonotech's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's hashtag Pinktober, hashtag Sonotech Goes Pink. Now, from the 1st October to the 31st October 2021, at any of the three branches of Sonotech, Tema, Osu, and West Hills Malls, we are gathering together to get free screening. Yes, I said it's free. And that's not all we have for you. We also have 20% off mammogram testing and 50% off ultrasound. Let's go pink from October the 1st to the 31st, 2021 at Osu, Tema, and West Hills Mall, all Sonotech branches. We are giving hope to save a life. See you there.
Well, thank you for staying on with us. I did assure you that we will dive right into the newspaper headlines when we come back. Grab your cup of coffee and let's do this. Let's do this in a very short time. Yesterday was the World Teachers Day, and I know that teachers, I'm a teacher myself, so congratulations to all teachers everywhere, those that are doing a good job. But I know most of you had your eyes pinned on who was going to be the best teacher. Well, Daily Graphic takes a dive into it. We have O2 is best teacher. And what did he win? A 3-bedroom house. Wow, a 3-bedroom house. It is to be envied, but if you know what goes into that job, the sacrifices, and then I would rather say that it is a well-deserved one, a well-deserved prize. Isaac, sorry, O2, no one I'm adding Isaac to it. O2 is a 44-year-old visual arts and ceramics teacher at the Winneba Senior High School, SHS, in Central Region. I'm saying Central and saying, okay. Mr. Ebenezer Kojo O2, not Isaac. Mr. Ebenezer Kojo O2 has been adjudged the most outstanding teacher for 2021. I don't know which criteria they look at, but we are told that at the ceremony to commemorate the World Teachers Day in Sunyani yesterday, Mr. O2, who is also a farmer, he doubles as a farmer, was presented with a check of a whooping 250,000 Ghana cedis for the construction of a 3-bedroom house at a place of his choice. The award was sponsored by Glyco Pensions, and that's all I will say on it. If you want to know more what the criteria was and all that what went into it, the story continues on page 3, so you can grab a copy of the Daily Graphic. I didn't introduce that, sorry. Daily Graphic, truth and accuracy every day. And I'm particularly happy that you will take on the teacher story as the big banner for your headlines today. Stolen crash barriers to be replaced. If you followed us yesterday, if you've been following us, we did highlight, there was a headline that we took up and we highlighted on it, about stolen crash barriers on the Pokwase, the newly installed Pokwase interchange. And we are being told that a resident engineer is saying he's going to replace them, and that's very good, very, very good news. It's very nice when we have such people, philanthropists or people within the citizenry, the community, who want to take up such projects to help. This is going to go a long way. It might be even for somebody who does not even reside in Pokwase. You never can tell, but such acts are supposed to be commended. So very good job done. The story is on page 16, and if you want to know more about that, then grab a copy and delve straight to page 16. We also have Reverend Owusu Bempa updates on his trial. He faces trial in two courts. Reverend Owusu Bempa. That story is also on page 16. So yes, page 16 holds a lot for you today. That's for Truth and Accuracy Everyday Daily Graphic. And on the back page of the Daily Graphic, President to cut sword, or he cut sword for hospital at BDM. Yes, President cut sword for hospital at BDM. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has cut the sword for the construction of 100-bed district trauma and accident hospital at BDM near Obuase in the Ashanti region. The facility is one of the major health projects being undertaken in the region to improve access to health care. So there's more on the story on agenda 111, and also on how monitoring of these particular projects will be, effected, so that we see completion of these. So read more. We also see Yana pledges support to preserve the environment. I don't know if it's the same story as what we read yesterday concerning Yana's instrument, the advice to preserve our forests from these galamseyers. So I don't know if it's a continuation, an update on it, or it is the same story that Daily Graphic is now reporting on. On the middle spread of the Daily Graphic, CSO's advice to be circumspect in criticism of security matters, strengthen anti-money laundering regimes. That's from Ken Ofori-Atta. Yes, his name was in the news yesterday, that there have been rumors also that he's been fired, or he resigned, or whatever. We are being told that he is in office. There was a press release that stated that he is at post and he is working, and I believe that this news item here is evident enough. University of Sustainable Development lectures win award. That is also on the middle spread on pages 24 and 25 of the Daily Graphic. I'll hold up on any sports news for the sports segment later, but that's how I wrap up for the Daily Graphic. Still in the dailies, I'm jumping onto the Statesman, the Daily Statesman. The Daily Statesman issue 606, really? Okay. Big story here, screaming into our eyes. We have garment factory opens at Koforidua. Garment factory opens at Koforidua, and as president commissions more one district, one factory projects. We have a picture of President Akufo-Addo inside the premises of the Ma Grace Company Limited, a garment manufacturing company under the One District, One Factory initiative. And if you want to know more, it's there. What is being done, as a fight against COVID-19, the One District, One Factory rationale, the New Joabim North Assembly Block as well. There's more to this story than just the garment factory. So grab a copy of the Daily Statesman, and again, you will read on Boachi Ejako urges NPP to address grassroots concerns. Boachi Ejako urges NPP to address grassroots concerns, but that story is on page 4. Then we also have Chief of Staff not involved in unlawful auctioning of state properties. That assurance that Mrs. Frema Akosia Osei Opare is not involved in unlawful auctioning of state properties. And okay. Small sports, international sports, and also local sports from the Daily Statesman. On the back page, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder III. That's world heavyweight champion, on his motivation and future. Okay. Okay, and there'll be more on sports later, as I indicated. So, away from the Daily Statesman, I'm going to the Daily Guide newspaper. And of course, I know Daily Guide would capture the story on Owusu Bempa, but this is how they put it. Owusu Bempa was deeping his woes. So there should have been an apostrophe yes there. Owusu Bempa's woes deeping. So read on it. That story is by Jibril Abdul Razak. Read on it. There's a little excerpt of the story there which I'll read, but you would have to continue on page 3. The words of General Overseer of the Glorious Word Power Ministries International, Reverend Isaac Owusu Bempa, have deepened after the police separated the case in which he allegedly threatened the life of Patricia Oduro, aka Okomfo Agrada, and also allegedly instigated an assault on some police officers. So these two cases have been separated, and we are having two separate courts preside over these two separate cases. So he's to attend both courts, both cases. So that is deepening deepening of his woes. Now the louder story here says 13. I didn't know the number was 13. I just knew that some tall staff have been indicted or interdicted on some cases. 5 major cases, but Daily Guide says 13 tall staff. That's Tema oil refinery staff. Milk milk in quotation marks here, refinery, 55 under probe. They are under probe, and we have a picture of Matthew Opoku Prempe here. See the story on page 3. The story is on page 3. Should I give you a little on it? Okay, I will. Details are emerging about how some staff of Ghana's only oil refinery, Tema Oil Refinery, allegedly diverted petroleum products belonging to the company's clients and caused financial loss to the state. As a result, some 13 top guys at all have been interdicted, and another 58 staff are under investigations for their alleged involvement in the losses and what is said to be serious breaches of professional conduct by the Interim Management Committee, the IMC, that is currently handling the affairs of the refinery. And there is a cartoon as usual on page 3. You want to have a look at that. I'm not going to give you anything on that, but you should buy a copy of the Daily Guide to see what that comic is about. Down there on the bottom part, President directs REGSE CSs to lead Galamsey fight, and the story is on page 3. Just to break down that long initial there for you. So on page 6, and there is a picture of Yana with the minister there. So just to catch the story on page 3, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Ejinapo, has disclosed that President Akufo-Addo has directed every regional security council, every one of them, to spearhead the fight against illegal mining, popularly called Galamsey. And I'm sure this would either be in response or it is a continuation, the same story of the Yana on Galamsey and preservation of our environment. The Chief of Staff not auctioning state property unlawfully. So again, this story is captured, and a picture of Akosia Frema Osei Opari down there. On the back page, there's more sports news, and as I said, I'll hold on to that for the sports segment. Jumping onto the Ghanaian Times, the almost authoritative newspaper, issue 19,367. Yes, the big story there says Ebenezer Kojo Otu adjudged best teacher. Reverend Sister Justina Kwachiwa and then Nelson Kwashi are the first and second runners up. And the story is on page 16. So I have read a little on it. So to know more, you can catch up on that later on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times. Again, I see President applauds MP at the and Wembley Sports for ultra modern AstroTurf facility at Bantama. We took that story up yesterday. So if you remember, and I even stated the T-shirt of Nanado 01. Yes, there. So I'm moving away from that to police to investigate alleged murder of 90-year-old woman at a flower, or a plow, as they will call it, a plow. Yes, police to investigate alleged murder of 90-year-old woman, and that story is on page 9. Reverend Owusu Bempa makes it again. 6 others granted second bail. The story is on page 3, and there is some whooping 700,000 Ghana cedis cash involved. Okay, President begins Eastern Region Tour. President begins Eastern Region Tour. If you heard earlier, we talked about the 100 bed facility, hospital facility that he commissioned or cut the sort for that hospital in BDM. So it's all part of that. You can read more on that on page 15. Jumping to the back stories there. 20 million trees to be planted under Green Ghana next year. And if you did not partake in this year, next year, make sure you do. Remember that even if you just plant one tree, you have saved many lives. FDA cautions against the use of injectable glutathione for skin lightening. Glutathione, I keep hearing and seeing that thing, and I'm usually amazed at the lengths that ladies would go. Just to look, what would be the better word? Perfect. Just to look perfect. And I got shocked when I had to see pictures of ladies who have injectables. They inject themselves, they go for that kind of treatment. And I was trying to look at the adverse effects of some of these chemicals, especially when it comes to the glutathione. And I learned that not enough studies have been made about this for them to even know. And that alone for me spells danger more than ladies see. And no wonder FDA is coming, even though for me I'll say it's a little late, because a lot of them have done a lot of these procedures. But I don't know what your views are on this, but FDA is cautioning ladies, injectables for your skin treatments. You are being warned, and to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So you do so at your own risk. And that's it for the Ghanaian Times. I'm moving straight into the new crusading guide, and then I wrap up with a chronicle. The new crusading guide has Ken Oforiatta here, and as I was saying earlier, he's still at post. The finance ministry has this for us, and the story is on page 10. Ken Oforiatta still at post. Again, the same story I read just some few seconds ago. Akufo-Addo commissions Bantama AstroTurf, and he lauds Asenso Boakye and Wembley Sports. Akufo-Addo's presidency is a canon of leadership and democracy. PB Dankwa writes, Chief of Staff exonerated. And if you heard earlier, there were allegations that she was involved in unlawful sale of state property. She's been exonerated, saying that she isn't actually involved. And we see a big picture of Anas Tiger Eye. Yes, and it says attacks on Anas over slaying Juno's family and wife. And this is what the story is saying. Tiger Eye still sponsors the education of Ahmed Swale's children. And there is an insert picture of late Ahmed Hussein Swale there. The story is on pages 3 and 10. So grab a copy of the New Crusading Guide, today's issue, and you will see that there. More on sports at the penultimate page. Yes. But okay, we'll do that in the sports segments. Yeah, our Pofo Junior will join me to do the sports segment later. But before that, the last paper I have for you is the Umkhonto Wesizwe. Yes, the newspaper with many accolades, Spear of the Nation, the True Independence, that is the Chronicle. The Chronicle. I don't know what bird is on top there. Whether it's an eagle or, well, okay. So let's go straight to the stories that made their headlines. The scope of work at the Atibie Hospital being explained to the president. We have the picture of the president with some engineers there, or are they contractors? Whichever one. Ekufuado inspects a €4 million Atibie Hospital project. That story is on page 8, so you read further on it. NDC rewrites a juror report. NDC rewrites a juror report, and the story, okay, there's no inference, but it's there. Again, we have Jubilee House director coming from the Jubilee House director. They say Frema or say or parry not unlawfully auctioning state properties. I think that issue is loud and clear. It's been sounded loud and clear in our ears, so that people who keep repeating them, we want to wipe it clean from the slate of your memories. She has been exonerated, so case ended. Dr. Yao Graham not in favor of anti-LGBTI plus bill. Professor Emerita Techiwa Manu protests against anti-LGBTIQ plus bill. Professor Raymond Atuguba does not support anti-LGBTI bill. Okay, so that's information to our ears. Then we come to this story again. The anti-Fawutu Beji bill story roused Professor Prempe, and he turned his guns on the Chronicle. So if you want to know more on this particular story, we see a picture of the professor there, Professor Kwesi Prempe there, and what he has to say on this particular story. Let me just take a bit of it, a little bite. The Chronicles banner headline yesterday: revered academics fight anti-Fawutu Beji bill in the name of human rights has made Prof. H. Kwesi Prempe, one of the well-respected legal luminaries in the country, hot under the collar. The story, which has since gone viral, reported on the memorandum some 15 lawyers and academicians, including Prof. H. Kwesi Prempe, who used to write for this paper, sent to Parliament's Select Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs to reject the bill, seeking to make illegal same-sex relationships in Ghana. I don't really get that. I think I'll maybe have to read the whole thing to get that. So you have to grab your copy to read the whole thing for it to make more sense to you. I'm jumping to the back page. Okay, that's sports as well. We also have some qualifiers, Africa World Cup qualifiers fixtures down there on the back page. So grab a copy and read on it. And as usual, the quote of the day from the Chronicles is from James chapter 1 verse 19. James chapter 1 verse 19. And it says this: Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And that's how I end it for the Chronicle, and I wrap up for the newspaper headlines. I'll be back with Yawampofo Jr. to give you some little highlights making our sports news. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
John, who fini new? Wow, ebeyefe. Eddie, what boy juma? I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatek. Oh, na same roofing sheets are baby nice keke. Why na catch you? Asatek roofing sheet dear, and your nice keke with the bodan swa a chee and renache. They want to call us a hood of a fair baby. No one free roofing sheet no dear. Who hear that will be out? Now so the bodan swa a year supampe. What means which Roman send your open roofing sheet no? You try the salmon pepe. Mama po Asatek when you there. One of my technical advice na estimate free or professional installers and so on your on-site installation. Oh yes, quality and with that feminine. Asatek 5 days pay now can order. Now a year after sales service proper being so. Sheshe Asatek Watema Community 2 Meridian Road at Benkoko Board Warehouse Western Region. So Asatek Watakrade Anaji Yeni Princeland Hotel and edition and a Volta Region Yawo Akachi South District Assembly Kwainosua.
Hello, my name is Nane Ikekufu of Cling Event Ghana. October is here again and it's the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Guess what? Cling is excited to partner with Sonotech this year to offer free breast screening during the month of October, from 1st October to the 31st of October. Yes, free breast screening. Did you know in 2020, there were 2.3 million women diagnosed with breast cancer, and out of that, 685,000 died? Breast cancer treatment can be highly effective, especially when detected early. So, you must go and check. I will be there, and so should you. Sonotech, your total healthcare partner for life.
Water, but you're not getting your mouth. And that's all I'm order. Fire.
Malaria and tea. But you are yet more bono.
Which you have to feed it.
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo. I shouldn't customers. What when they say, Mammy, I smart. I perceive Malakio. I'm money buyer or the eco school. Share. Say a Janisi berry market any malaria and tea. I want to mean.
And now Emma will be around to walk. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And better one. And the CB Malakio. You do not. And now kick out from a son so I CB Malakio. And no way so dear. And I don't grow. And yet that shit.
A drawing near my appeal for about a woman for any quada won't you fear
Susiana. What would you win?
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato you mu adia to Musa.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Step Work Premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Thank you for staying on, and maybe you have taken one or too many sips of your tea, your beverage, whatever it is that you have there. But we are back, and as promised, you're coming to do the sports news, the sports segment. Here, not by myself. You know I can't do the sport because some of the names are even too heavy for me. But we have the emeritus of Ghanaian sports right here, and he is in no means less gallant today. Yes, in that sparkling white shirt. But because it's too white for your eyes, he's covered it up just a little. But you will still see and you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Ampofo Jr., good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thank you for the emeritus.
I have to, because Selassie is jealous. Now that I know he's jealous, I'm going to do it my homework, my task to search for more accolades for you every time I see you.
Well, thank you very much.
You are welcome.
So let's delve into the matters straight. The Black Stars of Ghana have camped at Cape Coast Sports Stadium ahead of the game against the double header against Zimbabwe. You could remember that last week I was talking about the fact that the Black Stars have a double header in the African Cup of World Cup qualifiers, against Zimbabwe, the first leg to be played in Ghana. And then those who are our ardent followers will know that we have been talking about the Black Stars for some time now. And then last week we delved into the Zimbabwe camp, and then we had a Zimbabwean journalist in the studio via Zoom. And then we're trying to explain and then break down the Zimbabwe national team, but this week it's been Black Stars.
And I'm worried about something I'm seeing. That's why it's like I can't wait for you to learn. Mubarak, Wakaso, 4 others to miss.
Yes, Milovan Rajevac, the new Serbian tactician who is with the Black Stars.
The comeback.
Yes, the comeback of Milo. When you look at the glory days of Ghana, you cannot forget Milovan Rajevac, because nearly in 2010 he reached the final of the African Cup of Nations, and then he reached almost, but nearly indeed is nothing. So he nearly reached the semi-finals of the World Cup, which is a feat no African country has ever achieved. But yesterday he has exempted 5 stars from the Black Star squad.
The names are here.
Yes, so there is Ishmael Ganiu who is out. Now when you look at Ishmael Ganiu is a player of Asante Kotoko, who is a local based club. But one might be able to explain the reason why Ganiu is out, because
let us know, because I'm wondering.
Because he is a local player and then the local league has not started. They don't have so much on their camp at the moment. Kotoko just resumed camp under
so that's manager. To say that he's not had active play.
Yes, he's not had active play, and then match fitness will be a worry, a bit of a worry. Even at the point when he was playing so good at the for the local side in the Ghana Premier League last season, he only had the opportunity once to play for the Black Stars. So one might be
explainable.
Yes,
so Tariq
Fosu, who is of Brentford United in the English Premier League. Last season he was their star man before they gained promotion into the Premier League, and this season they are doing wonderful things in the English Premier League. But one thing that happened to the Brentford star is before the Premier League season began, he contracted COVID-19, so he was out when they started. And when a team picks momentum, it's difficult to change the dynamics of the team. So Tariq Fosu, who was a star man for Brentford last season, is not with the squad, and he's not had the opportunity to start a single game in the Premier League. So that is with regards to. So let's say another match fitness for Tariq Fosu.
Yeah,
now,
then Fiorentina's
yes,
Joseph Alfred Duncan.
So this is a major worry for Ghanaians because Ghanaians have been giving Alfred Duncan, who plays in the Italian Serie A week in, week out, the benefit of the doubt that he needs to return to the Black Stars. And under Milovan, everyone thought this was an opportunity to have for us to have the double pivot of Thomas Partey and then Alfred Duncan, possibly.
Yeah.
But I think he asked the coach to actually exempt himself. Yesterday, he put out some words on social media saying, now, these are his words. He said he will not miss the national team because of injury, but he actually spoke to the Milovan Rajevac about one of two things. That is why he missed. So let the media not say he missed because he faked an injury or anything like that. But he missed because he had an interaction with the Black Stars manager.
Okay.
And that's why he's missing the. But before that, rumors had it that a lot of players, a player actually replaced him because he actually cited it to the coach earlier. So he had a player replacing him in the squad. Now, one of the names that comes as a surprise to a lot of us is Mubarak Wakaso. Now, when you look at the Black Star squad, Wakaso is one man who sacrifices a lot for the Black Stars. He's ready to put his head on the line. He's ready to put his body on the line for the Black Stars. Now, when you look at the record of Milovan Rajevac and then what he asks of his players, Wakaso is one of the guys you'll be needing in your squad if you want to compete and then if you want people to actually give their best for the Black Stars. So Wakaso missing out. Well, a lot of journalists have been calling for the head of Wakaso because Wakaso, other than playing simple passes, has been over-exaggerating passes in the Black Star squad. So one might say it's a cautious step for us to see whether Baba Idrisu and the other boys who are in the Black Star squad can actually make a name for themselves. Now, on the list is one sensation, Emmanuel Jesse. Well, he's with Spezia in the Italian Serie A. Last week, he was the captain of the side when they played in the Italian Serie A. Now, in the last 2 years, he had 34 games. He has started 34 games in about 39 games for Spezia. Now, he has 7 assists. Goal and an assist. He scored 5 goals for Spezia in the last 2 years, and then he assisted twice. Now, one of the things that actually also surprised a lot of people is Emmanuel Jesse went to the Spezia board and then told them that he has been invited to the Black Stars. So he's made preparations that he's coming to the Black Stars. But here lies the case. He's been dropped from the Black Star squad.
So are that there is the major reasons behind?
Well, we are still waiting on the GFA to give us solid reasons for his absence. Now, let me come to the Black Star squad because Jordan Ayew is in the Black Star squad. Yesterday, if you follow the Ghana Football Association closely, Jordan Ayew's pictures was all over the place in the new Twitter handle for the Ghana football team, which is the Black Stars. Now, it's his for Team Men's Ghana. That is a new Twitter handle for. Now, Jordan Ayew was being showed how to actually kick the ball into the net by our new Black Stars coach, Milovan Rajevac. Now, Jordan has not scored a goal since November 2020. That is a major worry for the Black Stars now. Because if your man leading the line has not scored, and then you need someone. When you look at the era of Milovan Rajevac between 2008 to 2010, one man that we can never forget is Baby Jet Asamoah Gyan. Yes. So in the about 25 games Milo took in charge, Asamoah Gyan had 9 goals and then 2 assists in the 25 games. One of the reasons why everyone points us to Asamoah Gyan, which is the one goal project and the one top project for Milovan Rajevac, is the fact that Asamoah Gyan at that point in time was at the peak of his career. And you could highly depend on him to actually bag in the goals. So when you look at the 4-5-1 system of Milovan Rajevac, one will need a target man. But yesterday, when you take a listen to the Crystal Palace manager, the new manager Patrick Vieira, he says Jordan Ayew has lacked the finishing ability, and it was because of self-confidence. And if Milovan is indeed able to bring the best out of him and then give him a bit of confidence, then we might see.
We'll see good things.
Yes.
Okay.
You have more news on in the graphic for me.
For the Black Stars.
Yes.
Okay. It says the senior national football team, the Black Stars, have begun preparation in Cape Coast ahead of their 2020 FIFA World Cup group qualifier against Zimbabwe at the Cape Coast Stadium on Saturday. So Milovan and his assistants Maxwell Kunedu and Otu Ado took charge.
With regards to Otu Ado, he is an interim manager. He plays on the side for the Black Stars, and then he plays on another side for Dortmund. Now he helped productively in the transformation of Erling Haaland when he moved to the Bundesliga this season and then last season. Now Otu's duty with the Black Stars will be more attacking, creating an environment where our attackers can actually produce a lot of goals.
If we can attack like Dortmund attack,
then and can defend like Chelsea's defense.
Then
we are in for the African Cup of Nations.
All right.
Yeah. So with regards to more news coming up, there is the game between Libya and then Egypt. Mohamed Salah will be leading the line for them. He has been tremendous in the English Premier League. And today on Explosion again, we'll have an Egyptian journalist to come to actually break down the game for us. And I'm sure our viewers should be enjoying that because there's a new manager for the Egypt national team after their old manager was sacked. He was sacked just a week before CK Akono was sacked. So if you want more news on the Egyptian national team, I'll keep that one in the bag. But he's been tremendous, and Libya have actually pulled out 6 points from 2 games played in the World Cup qualifier. So they are a major threat to the Egyptian national team, who have also won 2 from 2.
Okay.
So let's go to a bit of European sports where
I thought you would do like let people know which matches, especially when it comes to the African qualifiers we have for.
Let me keep that in the bag because today being Friday, there will be the Egypt and then the Libya game. When we come on Explosion,
today is Wednesday.
Yes, Explosion is on Wednesday.
Okay, I thought you said Friday.
No, we have Explosion on Wednesdays and then Fridays.
All right.
We'll delve into those. But let's go to Europe where Antonio Rudiger is still stalling on a new Chelsea contract. Now, Antonio Rudiger has hit a tremendous form for Chelsea over the past 2 seasons, guiding the Chelsea side in defense to win the UEFA Champions League. Now, one of the things that are majorly has been his contractual issues. For the past 2 seasons, he has not been able to agree a contract extension with Chelsea. Now, Bayern Munich and then Paris Saint-Germain and then even Real Madrid are keen on the Chelsea lad who hit tremendous season under Thomas Tuchel. But when you look at the Chelsea hierarchy before Thomas Tuchel took over as the manager, Antonio Rudiger was actually facing a sack under Frank Lampard, where Lampard complained that about his inability and then a little bit of dressing room issues for the German lad. But Bayern Munich are keen on him. Julian Nagelsmann, who is a Bayern Munich manager, is a big admirer of the player, and then Mauricio Pochettino sees him as a fit to actually play the feedback system at Paris Saint-Germain. So it will be a big tax if Chelsea are unable to renew his contract because he is a big lad for Chelsea. I think that'll be all for today.
Okay.
That'll be all for today.
I was trying to see if I could get other, on sports, other news on sports, but
now before we went, one of the issues that popped up over the week with regards to the Black Stars was the stadium change. Now, FIFA rules have actually made us know that the Cape Coast Sports Stadium is the only eligible stadium that can be used for the Black Stars, the World Cup qualifiers. Now, the Accra Sports Stadium is stated as ineligible, and then there is a Kumasi Babayara, which is also taking shape a bit, but will be ready for the Premier League once the Ghana Football Association is making it known that they are putting everything in place to actually make it eligible for all the other stadiums to make sure we can play for the World Cup qualifiers, because Accra can pull in some massive numbers when it comes to the Black Stars. So going to the Cape Coast Stadium is not so advantageous to us, but this is what we have and this is what we use.
Okay, all right. But I learned it's going to be a closed.
Yes, it will be a closed door game because in Zimbabwe,
yeah. So I think maybe that's why they chose Cape Coast. All right, so you're done, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it for the sports news, but that is not all. He's going to delve into matters, give you actual facts, and I mean, just enter into a feast on the real news. This is just the gist of it. So what we're going to do is that you can hold on, you can catch him as, is it 4:45 p.m. today on Explosion, and he has promised the Egyptian coach, right?
The journalist,
not the coach.
No.
Oh, I thought you get the coach.
The coach will be busy today.
He'll be busy today. Yeah. Okay. So the Egyptian journalist will be with him. Will meet with him and meet with you as well as they dialogue on certain salients, especially on Salah, right?
Yeah, Mohamed Salah.
So you want to know more on Salah? 4:45 Explosion. So he'll be there. Meet him there. I mean, I'll be watching in the comfort of my home. So we'll take a short break. We'll go back, and when we come back, we have more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. I am Priscilla Sewamenu, Miss Health Ghana 2020. The month October is noted for breast cancer awareness, and this October, Sonotech Ghana is partnering with Miss Health Ghana to bring you breast cancer awareness campaign dubbed Pink It Out. So from the 1st to 31st October, Sonotech Ghana is offering free breast screening for all women out there. Plus, you get 20% off mammogram and 50% off ultrasound scan if you need one at any of their branches. The campaign is on. Join the campaign, support women, encourage women to come for screening, and support women living with breast cancer. On this note, I will entreat all my sisters out there to come detect it, treat it, and defeat it, because early detection saves life. Thank you.
John, who fin you? Wow, Eddie, what boy juma. I check a roofing now. Oh, you fell one casa from Asatek. Oh, na same roofing is a baby bray, nice keke. Mind the catcher. Asatek roofing sheet today, and your nice keke with the board dance a chee and renache. They want the colors are who go for fair be bray. No new free roofing sheet no dear. Who hear that will be out. Now so the board dance wa a hero supampe. Which means which Roman send your open roofing sheet no. You try the summer pepe. Mama poor Asatek money there. One of my technical advice na estimate free. Our professional installers and so on your on-site installation. Ne boss crowd dafompa. Oh yes, quality and with that feminine. Asatek 5 days pay na musa can order. Now a year after sales service proper binso. Cheshe Asatek Watema Community 2, Meridian Road, a Benkoko Board Warehouse, Western Region. So Asatek Watakrade Anaji, Yeni Princeland Hotel and Edition, and a Volta Region, Yawa Akachi South District Assembly Quinosuha.
CB make up now. I'm a go correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. Who anyone? Oh, middle. You captures about one CB man capsules. Ah, you see, CB man capsules and I make a year.
Yeah, you see men and women's capsules now. You knew me that and 1 year packaging I had a pepper.
Wow, what a packaging! CB man, any CB woman capsules, no packaging is out. And you also no mood any biazan wako do mpegi.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won di fie du enka ho.
Susanna. Ghana man be man tamase.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA agye edwedi nkato yi ato.
Hello everyone, my name is Adoatv, a proud ambassador for Sonotech's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's hashtag Pinktober, hashtag Sonotech Goes Pink. Now from the 1st October to the 31st October 2021, at any of the 3 branches of Sonotech, Tema, Osu and West Hills Malls, we are gathering together to get free screening. Yes, I said it's free. And that's not all we have for you. We also have 20% off mammogram testing and 50% off ultrasound. Let's go pink from October the 1st to the 31st, 2021 at Osu, Tema, and West Hills Mall, all Sonotech branches. We are giving hope to save a life. See you there.
Water. What do not take your mouth? And then so
malaria nti abayiwa yedwuma bono. Malaria therefore yao enti awo ahire ne customers ni. Wahu ne se maami aye smart abe CB Malakio amma ne baya odi ko school. She se aduane si berry market chi ani malaria nti a ontimi ni.
Onia and na ho ema we mu biara to wo. So we malaria test. Na ebi wo mu a edra bedi wa ene CB Malakio. Yedinu na ne hahama na akeka bom asone so aye CB Malakio. Edra we so de enya no kra o. Aye tata she.
Edro yi nyema apemfo. Abate a woma womanfo. Ene nkoda a woni mfie dumie.
Suziana. What would you with you?
FDA ahwehwe saa ejedi nkrato yi mu agye atomu se eye.
Hello, this is Dr. Josephine Nsafo from the Breast Unit Kolegu Teaching Hospital. This year also we are partnering with Sonotech Medical and Diagnostic Center. October is here again. Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2021. The message hasn't changed. Early detection and effective treatment save lives. I hope you've been doing your monthly breast self-examination throughout the year. So I'm just here to remind you that it's time to get your annual breast screening done. And for women 40 years and above, you need to do your mammogram. Breast scans are also very useful for women of all ages. And Sonotech is giving up to 50% discount this year at their Osu, West Hills, and Tema branches. Every year, the breast unit sees about 400 new cases of breast cancer, including a few men, in addition to those already living with the disease. Unfortunately, almost 70% of these are already advanced. This is because people do not come early, and a lot are trying natural, herbal, and alternative remedies which do not work. So we have a lot of unnecessary deaths. But for those who do come early with effective treatments, they have been cured, and I'm happy to say that we have a lot of breast cancer survivors with us. So remember to look for changes in your breast, a lump in your breast or your armpit, and a dimple, a rash, a sore, nipple discharge, especially when it's bloody. And remember that when breast cancer starts, it's usually not painful. Early detection is key, and with effective treatment, should you be diagnosed with breast cancer, your life will be saved. Stay safe.
Yeni Masatek, so your kunini roofing industry nim enti, so roofing na wadwena Satek. Asatec will quality long span roofing sheeter, a sign nail free. Tresse, and here so did a drabomu. Now so a team would down the soa. Pampe and frama and a whom and to me Asatec quality long span roofing sheets with beautiful bright colors with anti-fading and anti-rusting properties. Tresse, and renache name panso, enti warmer 30-year warranty. Terms and conditions apply. Asatec quality long span roofing sheet dear. Eyama debia, say a warehouse, school, hotel, hospital, sorry, and now say a wawufi. Use Asatec quality nail free long span roofing sheet to be. Now what done to be jinaso, na yinho. Or your delivery services, Papa Bia, and for wonderful Kwan Asatec Bema was can order between 3 and 5 working days. Or VIP delivery services so 1 day pet now Osaka. Which Asatec a chill quine Watama Community 2, Meridian Road, when you could board warehouse, the paying Takrade, a few kuma number 9, or pay a few kuma Fidelity Bank no, Voter Regional so or Wakache Tatome, GN Bank and Chenhope. Asatec, sheltering you for life.
Announcements on Adoatv. Contact Adoatv for your general announcements, proclamations and publications, job vacancies, etc. at a very affordable rate. Call 050-92-57754, 020-9494-258, or visit our marketing desk at Step Work Premises. Adoatv, bringing good things to life.
Hello everyone, my name is Adoatv, a proud ambassador for Sonotec's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's hashtag Pinktober, hashtag Sonotec Goes Pink. Now from the 1st October to the 31st October 2021, at any of the 3 branches of Sonotec, Tema, Osu and West Hills Malls, we are gathering together to get free screening. Yes, I said it's free. And that's not all we have for you. We also have 20% off mammogram testing and 50% off ultrasound. Let's go pink from October the 1st to the 31st, 2021 at Osu, Tema, and West Hills Mall, all Sonotec branches. We are giving hope to save a life. See you there.
Water, but when I get your mouth, and that's all I know about you are fine.
Malaria and tea. Papa, you are yet more bono.
But you have defeated.
Malaria, therefore, yao. Enti awo, hashine customers. Wahune se mami aya smart. Ape sibi malakyo. Amma ne baya odiko school. She, se eduani si berry market echi ni malaria and tea. Onti mini.
And now Emma will be around to walk. So we have malaria test. Maybe one. And better and the CB malakyo. Yedinuna, Nehama, and now Kikabom Asoneso, I CB malakyo. And no way so dear. And I no grow. And yet that shit.
A drawing near my appeal for about a woman for any quada won't in fear.
Susiana, what would you with
FD Ashusha sa a jedi and crato you mu adia to Musa and
A very good morning to you. Many thanks for staying with us here on the Ghana Breakfast Show. I'm privileged and honored coming your way this morning with a newspaper review segment. And I believe your day has started on a very good note. And as our agenda has always been, we are here to start your day for you. Put that smile on your face. Before you start your day, I mean, you should do that on a very good note. We have a lot coming your way this morning between now and 10 a.m. Several parts of Accra have begun experiencing severe power outage, and it's begun yesterday and it's through till December 5, 2021. This was contained in a communique from Greatco to the ECG. They said this is to undertake plan works within the Accra Achimota Accra Central lines. We would have a bit on that. And also, with regards to the re-registration of SIM cards, the minority in Parliament, led by its deputy ranking member on the Parliamentary Select Committee on Communications, Sam Nathy George, has opposed this, saying the Ghana card shouldn't be the only requirement for this. Passports, including other identification cards, should be required to have this re-registration of SIM cards done. Are their concerns legitimate? We will delve into that shortly. I've been joined in the studio by reps from the two major political party. To my immediate right is Alaji Jamfaru, a rep for the New Patriotic Party, the NPP. Good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you're doing well.
The grace of God is keeping us going.
Right.
And I say good morning to our wonderful.
Right. Great. Next to him is Kingsley Haruna Amaliba. He's here to represent the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. Good morning to you.
Good morning, brother.
I trust you're doing well.
Yeah, the Lord have been merciful to me.
We thank God. Before we delve into the substantive matter for discussion this morning, I chanced on this on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper, and I would want to have your thoughts, just your preliminary comment on this 13 tall staff milk refinery 55 under probe. I'll just read a bit of that so you'll be able to appreciate the conversation. So well, details are emerging about how some staff of Ghana's only oil refinery, Tema Oil Refinery, TOR, allegedly diverting petroleum products belonging to the company's clients and caused financial loss to the state. As a result, some 13 top guys, underline word, top guys at TOR have been interdicted, and another 58 staff are under investigations for their alleged involvement in the losses and what is said to be serious breaches of professional conduct by the Interim Management Committee, IMC, that is currently handling the affairs of the refinery. A statement has been released by the Interim Management Committee confirming that some staff have been interdicted and there is an ongoing investigation into the matter. I would first want to pick your thoughts on this, Haruna.
Good morning to you once again, and to your crew, and to our Sherry's viewers. And, a special good morning to my leadership of my party,
right,
especially Alaji Abdul Sharif Nasiru, a NEC member of the National Democratic Congress. Yesterday, I think around the afternoon, we had a press release, so to speak, from the Interim Management Committee of Tema Oil Refinery top. And if you look at the statement they issued, contains few shocking revelations. Because first of all, the disappearance of 105,927 liters of gas oil on September 4, 2021 is shocking. But if you read the entire statement, you come to just a simple conclusion. You see, when leadership are entrusted, state leadership are entrusted in the hands of people who secure the social contract from the people, it is requires from that authority to exercise their fiduciary responsibility they hold to the people to the core. In other words, it is very pertinent at all times to defend the interests of the people. But if you look at the naked thievery, because if you read the statement they brought out, it amounts to naked thievery, a daylight robbery with impunity and with careless abundance, and assault on public interest and the public purse. The question is, why did these people, the staff of TOR, do so because they have drawn inspiration from events in the past.
So the floodgates has been opened.
So the floodgates have been opened. Others have done even far worse than what is captured here, and they got away with it. We are talking about 105,900 plus 27 gasoline oil that disappeared.
Yeah.
How much more the 5 million contaminated oil that disappeared? What happened? After Obey and his colleagues, were they punished? Were they dealt with according to law? No. And mind you, before NDC left office, we both have a strategic reserves, which was done with the intent that in case something happens, what can we do? What can we depend on as a country? At least for the next few months, if something happens in the global oil market and there cannot be a supply to Ghana, what should we do? Do we fold our arms and sit down waiting for things to become to tend to normalcy before we can continue our lives? No. So the government at the time made a conscious effort to reserve not less than 15 million liters of oil, which was a buffer to cushion us in case there is any uncertainty taking place which may have affected us.
Right. So
but
that's the statement
out of it,
on the screen there.
5 million disappeared. 5 million Ghanaians oil disappeared. President Akufo-Addo government condoned it. Nothing happened. And now we are talking about how do you call it? Tema Oil Refinery. Tema Oil Refinery under President Mahama was, in fact, President Mahama brought Tema Oil Refinery back to normalcy. When President Mero started it, President Mahama came and continued. And they built a resilient entity of a state property and left it for the NPP. What has happened? They have turned Tema Oil Refinery into a crowd. Everybody comes in, market, and leave. And today, the workers themselves are engaging in naked thievery and daylight robbery. It is a shame. But don't be surprised.
Why?
President Akufo-Addo himself might be complicit in this matter.
How so?
Why? Because he's a corruption agent. The man is corrupt to the core. This is the man who started his political career on anti-corruption struggle notes. He uses anti-corruption characteristics and gimmicks to woo the unassuming Ghanaian public to follow him blindly.
And that is why we have the office of the special prosecutor.
And the media intentionally hired him and made him to look like this man is Mr. No-Nonsense man. When he's given the state power, he will do the right thing. Mind you, President Akufo-Addo, as we speak, has no play in Ghanaian politics. Because he touted himself as someone who comes from a political family background, given the fact that his father was a ceremonial president in the Second Republic. Right?
Right.
And from the past 40 years, he has been in political activism than any other current politician in the system. So nobody assumed that when he's given the state power, such a mess, such a mismanagement, such an impunity, such a lawlessness, such a careless abundance will be witnessed under his watch. But that has tended to be the case. It's not surprise that when you go out there and ask people, even when he went to Asante region, the Asante region, people didn't know that he was in town. I spoke to friends because I was born in the Asante region. I lived there throughout my life until I came to Accra less than 10 years ago. So I have friends in the Asante region who I schooled with. I called many of them. They told me, yes, I can crack in our town. Had it not been my call, they never knew that the president was in town. So go out there and ask people, apart from Jamfaro and his squad, who will come and sit here and defend this kind of shame. No one, people who voted for President Akufo-Addo are distancing themselves from him because of his embarrassing performance. So day in and day out, this event keeps coming. And mind you, they are on their last term. Okay? They are on their last term. And they're trying to hold on to every straw. The leadership up there is preparing their retirement package. So those at the bottom, do you think that they also watch They also watch Aloof?
They may not be on their last term, but President
their retirement package would be to exit power come 2024. But let me tell them, irrespective. Look, this probe, they will probe it, but don't go anywhere. You know why?
What makes you say so?
You know why? Go to these state enterprises, go to these state organizations. We were here when KK Sapon, the GMPC boss.
GMPC, yeah.
Good. His driver put a camera before him and flout dollars, US dollars, $100,000. And he went out from his room and was showing the cars that he have. What was he doing? And the special prosecutor is out there threatening people that he's going to go after innocent people who are driving big cars. Go after this guy if you mean business.
Well, he has not begun yet, so we
should go after this guy if you mean business. Did the police CID invited him? Did the BNI invited him?
We are yet to
the Financial Intelligence Center invited him. Did Yoko invited him? Has Shah invited him? Do you think you and I sitting here? If it was Haruna who was seen with these monies, what would they have done? And mind you, a week before, there was an alleged video circulating on social media that this guy, in fact, his girlfriend was celebrating her birthday, and in the video, that person was seen flaunting money, throwing money on her. I mean, what kind of people are this? Don't also forget, I think 2019 or so, there was a video and picture that came out. There was a supposed guy whose name I have forgotten, sitting on pack 100 Ghana cedis note. Did you see the video?
No.
Including 200 Ghana cedis note. They were packing the money in someone's house. Was it my house?
I never chanced on
that. Or it was President Mahama's house.
Right, thank you.
Okay, as it turned out, they killed the guy. The guy is dead till date. Nobody knows what killed him. So these are people we are talking about. Very corrupt. They steal without shame. And the leadership are doing it. How much more those are the base? So my brother, the question that we need to ask is, Ghana, what did we do wrong to get to this point? What did we do wrong?
Right.
Because if you sit down and you are a Ghanaian, you love this country, and you see the way President Akufo-Addo and his MPP Achim Click-led government is running this country, your heart will bleed and will continue to bleed.
Thank you so much.
You ask many questions,
right,
and the answers are not coming. But
thank you so much.
Crime have no expiry date. The day of reckoning.
Thank you so much. Haruna Kingsley Amaliba there. Let me come to you, Alaji Jamfaru. If what he has said is anything to go by, then I think we have a long way to go as a country.
Yes, Babyface, I say good morning to you. Right. And I say good morning to our wonderful viewers out there. And as we speak to you now, the Commissioner General, Nana Showboy, is in the Eastern region, doing wonders there. He commissioned the One District, One Factory, a garment factory that is producing garments for for export and here in the country. He commissioned one of the assemblies, the building they built for them. If you put all this together, I want to believe that tribal bigotry is not part of our democracy. Like my brother sitting down here exposing tribal bigotry. Nanado is from Achim, so what? It's an Achim and so what? Does it represent all the Achims? So let us use this platform to tell people like Amaniba that tribal bigotry in our democracy should be eschewed. And it has been part of them right from the word go.
Would you describe as them?
I mean NDC. He represents NDC. And this is not the first person to do this. You know it, I know it. He's not the first person. So that tribal bigotry, as tribal bigot as he is, let us all come together to condemn him and to refrain from such behavior. Because when you are performing, today when you go to buy something, this electricity doesn't care whether you are NDC or you are MPP, whether you are from Achim or you are from the north. Once it is working, they left Dumso, but today the lights are on. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you are from Achim or you are from, I don't know, his hometown. So tell him that he should repent from tribal bigotry and he should go and preach to his members to eschew from tribal bigotry. It doesn't take us anywhere. Go to this is Rwanda, the Tutsis and Hutus. We saw what happened. Tribes against tribes. And you sit on this platform and want to promote that. It's rather unfortunate. And we should not allow people like this to be participating in programs such as this. If you will not repent, if you will not repent, you see, let me tell you something.
I heard that.
Hello.
I
heard.
You see,
what do you mean?
Relax.
Mind your words.
Relax. That is exactly why I had to check. That is exactly why I had to check.
Babyface, your real name is what?
I'm Isaac too.
Mr. Isaac, look, the statement I'm making here, I mean every word. Because you sitting down here, I don't care the tribe you belong to. So also you don't care the tribe I belong to. But we are here together to help Ghanaians know what is happening. So I cannot attack your tribe, your tribe, neither will you attack my tribe. So if somebody like a Maniba will sit here and try and attack somebody's tribe or associate somebody's tribe to something, do you think we should keep quiet and allow him to do what? It's not about how he shouts or insulting people. That what do I mean or what? No. But we should tell him in the face that tribal bigotry, we've got past that level.
Right. You've told him.
Okay. So that's point number one.
There's nothing to say.
Relax. When we were spewing this and truth here, I just kept quiet. So relax. Look, when NDC person is speaking, if you don't take time, you may think they are telling the truth. He spoke about the bust. Okay, the 5 million contaminated bus.
Right.
You ask yourself, he sounded as though it happened under Akufo-Addo. But it is his government that superintended over the 5 million bus saga. I have with me here. You see, when I come here, my purpose is to educate and inform, but not to come and lie to people. So I don't participate in lies. This is what Boss explains. 5 million liters fuel was how 5 million fuel was contaminated on January 18th, 2017. As of January 2017, has Nanado appointed the boss director? No. So the 5 million. Listen to the first paragraph. The bulk oil storage and transportation company has explained that the contamination of the about 5 million liters of fuel occurred on January 18, 2017, and that it happened as a result of accidental mixture of petrol and diesel. Isaac, as of 2017, has Nanado appointed anybody? So you sit here
in January.
Yes, 2017. Yeah. You sit here and you sound. You see, when you are not informed on issues, don't use platform like this to expose you.
What's the source of the document?
Relax. If you care to know,
put him to street proof. What's the source of the document?
Relax.
Ask him. Relax.
End with
relax.
Give the source of the document.
Allow him end with
when you are crumbling.
Allow him to go. What is the
Stop shouting. Stop shouting. Stop shouting.
Listen. End with the submission. Thank you. Continue.
I will continue to expose you. So listen to this.
I'm listening.
This is what graphic online. If listen, this is what graphic online. Graphic, do you own it? Isaac, do you own graphic online?
I don't.
You don't own it. I don't own it. He doesn't own it. And this is state-owned. Listen. So it happened January 2017. So from today, you have to repent from making this untruth. Never again should you use boss issue. But let's come back. Let's relate it to Thor. We were in this country. MDC for 8 good years, they intentionally collapsed Thor with the intention of importing finished products. So you think you can use this platform to sound as if Ghanaians have forgotten? Amadiba, please. Ghanaians knew that for 8 good years, your intention was to collapse Thor. And you succeeded in collapsing Thor. You were only interested in importing finished products. To the extent that, look, Haruna Idrisu, Okujato, look, if you look at the number of filling stations that these NDC boys have opened, they intentionally collapsed Thor so that they can open filling stations to import finished products. This is a group of people today who are having the platform to talk as if they have done something for this country. No! They've rather collapsed it. Listen to what the document you showed, okay?
The statement.
The statement. He made the point, and I believe with him, that things that are happening now happen because in the past they happened and nothing happened. Yes, go to point number 4 of that statement. And it reads, the disappearance of LPG.
That is D.
That is what D. Yeah. Sure. The disappearance of LPG belonging to a client between 2012 and 2015. Listen to this. Between 2012 and 2015. As at 2012 and 2015, it was Nanado who was president. Is that it? It happened between 2012 and 2015. As a result, okay, which Tor becomes indebted to the client to the tune of what? 4.8 million US dollars. So if Amaniba sits here to tell me that those corrupt behaviors happened in the past and nothing happened, it is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. So his government, Mahama's government, His Excellency, the superintendent over this thing between 2012 and 2015. And nothing happened about it. But thank God that Nana Addo Akufo-Addo is committed to fighting corruption. But for this investigation, who would have known that this has happened? And you can see that the discovery just happened between April and September. Very short period. Yeah. So it tells you that the internal control mechanisms are working. That's why we're able to discover all these things. But between 2012, 2015, that Amaniba and his government were in power, they superintended over this corrupt behavior. And it's rather unfortunate that today, Amaniba and NDC will have the nerves to talk about corruption. If you talk of corruption by land, corruption by sea, corruption by air, it is NDC for you. And if I talk of corruption by land, you were here in this country where Mahama was gifted Ford. Mahama was gifted Ford. As a result of what? A Burkina thanking Mahama. Okay? If you look at the SEPS fee that was paid, it was not paid by Ghana. It was paid by an individual. So nobody should tell you that it was gifted to Ghana. No, it was not gifted to Ghana, but was given to Mahama. And he himself has indicated that, look, His Excellency, the late Mills, you remember when he first came? Common hampers. What did he say? You remember? He said we should not take gifts, including hampers. Hampers during festivities. He said we should stop taking that. But Mahama looked into the face of His Excellency Mills and took gift of Ford and eventually said that it was gifted to the state. Look, corruption by land. That is it. You talk of corruption by sea. This Amerideal, something that you could have procured at 230 million, you went and bought it at 510 million. When we renegotiated it, eventually we were saving 51 million US dollars as a result of renegotiation. So if we had not renegotiated this, I'm telling you that 51 million would have, and that is corruption by sea. We have corruption by air. Today, as we speak, government official one, Martin Amidu has indicated clearly that as far as Airbus saga is concerned, when we are looking for government official one, it's nobody but John Mahama. So government official one, corruption by air, we saw it. As we speak to you now, do you remember John 3:16?
So you believe that particular report of Martin Amidu?
Official one, government official one. No, as far as government of, before Martin spoke, we all knew because there were all indications.
Yeah, but I mean, you believe that?
I'm not pointing on Martin's case, but I'm saying to you, yes, and I'm saying to you that before Martin, are you getting me, made that statement, it's already known. So he only confirmed what is already in the public domain. You understand that?
So other reports from Martin Amidu, which speaks against your government, to has confirmed what is already in the public domain.
So practically, are you getting me? If you make a statement, are you getting me? If you make a statement without evidence, because like you are saying, I know where you are going to.
Without evidence, in which case are you talking about?
Okay, as far as Airbus is concerned,
right?
Both Ghana here and UK, there's evidence. They've given the chronicles. Are you getting me? To the extent of the amount of money that was involved, 5 million US dollars. Martin Amidu made statement regarding corruptions about Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, but failed to pinpoint a particular act that Nana Addo got himself involved in. But this one, there were practical examples on the ground. So that is the difference. So if had former special prosecutor had made a particular case and said that Nanado is related to it, then that one there. But so far he has not related Nanado to any particular case. He spoke in general terms. But I am being specific. As we speak to you now, you know John 3:16? It's not about what is in the Bible. That for God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten son. No! It is about for NDC so hate Ghana. Is that 3 appointees of Don Mahama, as we speak to you now, they are languishing in jail as a result of corrupt behavior. Smith, corrupt saga. 3 of them are in there. In this country, when we talk of corruption, excuse me to say, when MPP first came into office, you saw Dan Abodakpi in jail. You saw Chikata in jail. You saw Ibrahim in jail. All of them corrupt behaviors, causing financial loss to the state. When MPP left office, we were told that 18 people were taken to court. Even a single soul was not, incarcerated.
But what we do know is that Chikata's issue has been resolved.
At the end of the day, no case hasn't been resolved. Resolution is that either you go to jail or... So he was pardoned. So the truth of the matter is that when they left off, when we first came into office in 2001 to 2008, NDC people went to jail as a result of corrupt and mismanagement of this country. When we left office between 2007 and 2009 to 2008, we left office 2008. So between 2001 to 2008, no single soul went to court because, as a result, went to jail as a result of corrupt behavior. When we came back to power, between 2009 and 2012, as we speak to you now, about 5 of them are in jail as a result of corrupt behavior. So if you put all these things, Ghanaians know, every Ghanaian know that when it comes to corrupt behavior, Mahama and his party, NDC, they have professional certificate in corruption. No two ways about that. Let's put that one aside. But back to the issue at hand.
I believe so well you read Martin Amidu's resignation letter. What led to his resignation?
Yeah.
He cited a Japa deal in it. But you, when you were making your submission, you did mention that, well, for the Airbus scandal, there are evidence to it. But for other allegations and reports about the ruling New Patriotic Party, there was no specific indication or evidence to such allegations which have been raised. But if you read the report so well, it was indicated.
Don't suggest that I did not read it so well. I read it so well. Yeah. And I'm telling you that there is no single phrase, clause, or sentence where he relates Nanado to those Ejapade.
Well, he cited in the report that...
But it was part of reasons why he resigned.
Right.
But don't forget to know that when he first did his audit, are you getting me? When he first did his audit, he never spoke about corruption. He said they did not go to parliament, according to him. Meanwhile, the first act, the act itself was passed by, the parliament. So you can see that, I don't know what his intentions were, but at the end of the day, it did not go far. People saw that he was just trying to find fault. If you cannot do something...
You believe so?
My brother, has he, like I was saying, I'm putting it to proof that he should say that, like I'm saying, Mahama fought, Mahama Amerideal, Mahama, so he should just relate it to a particular reason. It's not there. So the Japa is a general statement. So put all this together, then you now come back to the issue at hand. You see, Isaac, as far as theft is concerned, in organizations, as a student of, in organizations, thefts are bound to happen. Whether you like it or not, theft bound to happen. But how do you prevent it? That's why we have the internal control mechanisms. Okay? The internal control mechanisms. As we speak to you now, when you read the story, the events happen in 2 places. We have the storage and the transfer. Okay? It's during the storage and the transfer. That is where these things happened.
Right.
Okay? Now, when you go to the storage, you now ask yourself, what are the internal control mechanisms there? When you look at those who did the X and Young, they did the auditing to discover all these things. So the point is, were there internal control mechanisms? And what monitoring have they put in place? If we talk of internal control mechanism, simply means systems that have been put in place, either to prevent, detect, or manage this kind of things that will happen in an organization. So the question is, what internal control mechanisms have we put in place over there? Then we now come to the transfer. What suits me is that they did not just take an act or suspend them. The first thing they did was to query them. If you read the letter, they said they were queried. And the first thing through the disciplinary process is to query somebody that ABCD has happened. What do you think your response, which will lead to either you being exonerated or being punished? So if some people should be suspended or interdicted, it means that even from their own query, there is a prima facie cases that will lead to further investigation. Okay? When it comes to the interdiction is where somebody is taken off his work to allow investigations to take place. Right. So that after the interdictions, we find out whether you are culpable or not. If yes, then the laws will take its own course. Right. So from the letter, we are made to believe that this is what they want to do. So put all this together. Look, we are saying that theft, every day I say it, corruption is a social violence. And I have made this without number, that anybody who is engaged or who engages in corruption, me sitting down here, whether you are my mother, you are my father, I will never and ever support you. Because what you are taking home for your personal gain is denying thousands of individuals somewhere their right. So I cannot sit here to defend anybody. So let the law take its own course. Right. Anybody who is found culpable, I am behind the interim management committee that they will allow the law to work. Right. So let us all come together to ensure that no matter who is involved, once you are caught culpable of this offense, you are taken through the law.
Right, Amaliba, you have the floor now. Let's hear you.
Interesting submission indeed. You see, when people speak with all sides of their mouths, they ridicule themselves. He left the issue and engaged in ad hominem argumentum. When we talk about tribal bigotry in this country, he's naive.
Please, I want us to leave.
And I'll tell you why. Yeah, well, we can leave it. He accused me, and I have the right to respond.
I didn't accuse you. I told you who you are.
Thank
and
you.
what you have just done.
Thank you.
So it's as simple as that.
I'm here.
We were in this country when Nana Adoatv Kufuor, candidate of the MPP, went to Etiwa. And his first comment was, "Yen Akanfo there." What was he referring to? Yen Akanfo. Don't talk about bigotry. He ended by saying, "All die be die." Let's put that aside. Oslo Husu, a minister under Kufuor, attacked Northerners, chastised us, insulted us, and claimed that had it not been the magnanimity of Kwame Nkrumah, would have been useless and people who have nothing to do in the north, casing cattle in the bush. Simon Osei Mensah, Akufo-Addo, own minister of Asante region, did an audio when Honorable Akamba issue with the Tempane Senior High School came. He insulted Northerners and ran us down. Osofo Mafo, who is an advisor to Nana Adoatv Akufo-Addo, before 2016 elections, went to Eastern Region and met his tribe, his party executives. What advice he gave them? That Ghana here, if you don't come from a certain regions, you don't deserve to rule this country. 3 northern regions as it then was, Greater Accra region and Volta region. Your party, as we speak, under the watch of Akufo-Addo, seldom have rep in parliament. Are they Ghanaians? Are they Ghanaians? For the first time, Ghanaian citizens have denied their inalienable right to have a rep in parliament. You are not ashamed to condemn that.
So that is the...
Under your government, you prepared budget and excluded the whole of Volta region. The whole region was excluded from national budget. Okay? Have you forgotten that? And I can give you instances after instances. Under your government, go and see people who have been killed under this government. Is it a policy of ethnic cleansing? Is the process of ethnic cleansing? So, if we condemn your action, we are bigot. These are arsonists pretending to be firefighters. Shame on you people. The world knows you. Then, he make a ridiculous comment about the Kufuado commissioning textile factory where Temako Somo Textile is dead.
But that is not part of the conversation today.
Oh yeah, you make comment of it. So let me expose him. He's dead.
You killed it.
Then
you killed it.
Let's come to the issue of corruption. So propositions indeed. Akufo-Addo, before he came to power, what is Martin Amidu description to him? His own special prosecutor. Martin Amidu said that the sins he has committed against himself, that he can never afford to forgive himself personally, is when he allowed himself for Akufo-Addo to mislead him, and he sheepishly agreed to be his special prosecutor. In his resignation letter, he stated unequivocally that President Akufo-Addo presenting himself an innocent flower of anti-corruption, only for him to get closer to him and discover that the man is an embodiment and the mother serpent of corruption. Mother serpent of corruption.
Without any evidence. Without any evidence.
The evidence is President Akufo-Addo, Sally's investigative journalist, caught him taking $40,000 in an envelope, green brown envelope. He took the bribe and kissed it. This is the man we are talking about. So he's not corrupt. His own appointees sat him down in the public space and sold him for $40,000. $10,000. Kennedy Japan told us the first house appearance fee is $20,000. You must pay to see the president. Recently, what happened? Koku Ajiman Maktoum.
But do you
the honorable health minister? Let me say before I forget.
We should be addressing some of these issues with the blame games.
And let me say before. I am making a point. I am making a point. Honorable Koku Ajiman, there's COVID, and you want to buy vaccines for people of Ghana. The vaccines that at most countries are buying at $10 per dose. You only procured $19. In fact, my internal informant told me that government paid $27 per dose. Let's even leave that as a grapevine and take the $19.
Look at this.
When the matter went to parliament, you see, these people, they are shameless liars. I was in parliament that day. When Honorable Haruna Idrisu moved the motion asking the House to form that ad hoc committee to investigate the transaction. Honorable Muntaka, seconding the motion on the floor of Parliament, stated clearly that the minister met them on 19th March 2021 to have a conversation about the deal. Unknown, he met them on 21st March. Unknown to the committee, the minister has already done the transaction on 19th, 3 days before he appeared before the committee, and assured them government is going to look for a good deal for the people of Ghana. Not knowing that he met the committee, passed, agreed on $19 per dose, came to parliament and lied. It didn't end there. When he appeared before the committee, what did he say? What did he tell the committee? That he signed the contract without thinking. He didn't think before signing the contract. Did he go to cabinet? He said no. Did he go to procurement laws process? He said no. Did he come to parliament for approval? He said no. Look at you. You don't have the moral courage to condemn this. And he said Mahama took fraud. Anytime you talk about fraud there, it tells you how shallow, how unintelligent they are.
You are
anyways, fine. Hear this. These were the same people who accused Mahama for sharing land cruisers to chiefs and queen mothers in this country. Isn't it? Otu, go and check the price of a land cruiser. So Mahama as president had money to buy land cruisers, no one knew, land cruisers, and share them like Kalawole, as they said. But the same Mahama cannot get money to buy Ford. Not even a brand new Ford, a second-hand Ford. Does it make sense? But let's talk about President Akufo-Addo. Under his watch, look at the deals his ministers are doing. They were caught in parliament for building a website costing 800,000 Ghana cedis. website. What are they going to sell there? In your government, look at the number of corruption deals which have taken place. Which of them have been properly investigated and come to a logical conclusion? And I will end by saying that President Akufo-Addo will go into record as a president who became a complainant in the criminal case involving corruption. Because Njechi said he was in his pocket. I'm surely brought.
Right, thank you so much.
Let me conclude. The president went to CID and reported. What happened to that case?
Thank you very
much. So when you talk about Akufo-Addo, he's a literally an embodiment of corruption who sleep, swim, and eat it. He has become a corruption terror agent, and that is what resources have been siphoned interestingly by his own family members. And you are here talking about President Mahama.
Yeah.
What a shame.
I'm being told to move on.
No, but at least. No, you can't just move on like that. No,
I'm being instructed by the producer.
No problem. But before you move on, I must.
Thank you.
I must make this point.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank me means I should not.
Yes.
Oh no, but
thank you. I'm being instructed.
Look, I'll use my remaining time.
Then when we come back.
No, I'll use my remaining time to.
Right, I'm being told to give you a minute.
That is it. Mahama went to Tamale and said Northerners should vote for him because he's coming from the north.
Of course. So what's wrong with that?
That's tribal bigotry.
What's wrong with that?
Listen to me. Relax. That is tribal bigotry. He went to Tamale and said they should vote for him because he's coming from the north. Meanwhile, the case in north, it took Nanado to come and solve it. That is why Nanado is being called the chief of peace in this country. So you can't sit here and talk about that. It's practical example. We were in this country. Sampiale of NDC told Nima people that news will not go to what's the Flagstaff House because it's surrounded by Nima people. And you know Nima is surrounded by Muslims. We're in this country. I have in my hand. This is this. What is this?
You are doing this under one.
No problem. What is this? Fifikwete. Saying that Muslims cannot be presidents in this country. This is Fifikwete speaking. And later comes to explain. And in his explanation says that NDC will give Muslims the opportunity. He made this statement in 2009. 2012, did they give any Muslim? So that tells you how bigoted they are. So as far as tribal bigotry, NDC, you are champions of that. Put that one aside. As far as corruption is concerned, look, if you go and pick your source from a dirty place, that dirt will expose you. The video is talking about. It was
which of them you talked about?
He talked about the fact that Nanado was caught on a video taking 40,000 what have you. I'm telling you that they got it from a dirty place because they doctored that video, and every reasonable human being who watched that video saw that these people, the wickedness in their mind, every day they were exposed. They just doctored it to sound. You see, when somebody hates you, he can go everywhere to find fault with you. That is what NDC is doing. And the more they do, the more they fail. The more they do, the more they fail. And they will never repent. Put that one aside. We were here in this country. Common bus branding. This man and his party. Flagstaff House here. You saw it.
I also respond.
Hold on. No,
let him alert.
Hold on.
Let him alert.
You spoke twice. I spoke once. So I'm speaking out. If you come in, I'll come in.
Your time is
no problem. Okay. So at the end of the day, as far as corruption is concerned, if you like, go to kindergarten, go to JSS, go to SS, ask every Ghanaian that between NDC and NPP, which party is made up of criminals, corrupt?
How can I ask a kindergarten kid?
Yes, because it is known to all of them that as far as NDC, look, I'm telling you that they are in jail. As far as Kufuor's time, most of them are in jail. In their own time, they caught their own jail.
But you cannot describe them all as criminals.
I said criminals are among them, so that's why they're in jail.
That's what it is.
You understand that they're in jail?
He's amended his words, right?
Okay, so as far as corruption is concerned, my brother, Ghanaians know you. Even you sitting down here, the perception about Ghanaians as far as corruption is concerned, I don't know what they have about you, but once you belong to NDC, I'm telling you that they see you to be corrupt. So as far as corruption is concerned, my brother, NDC, you don't have anything. We know you.
Topic. Let's move on. So what we do know is that October 1, that was last Friday.
His allegations cannot go unanswered.
Master, whatever you say,
Friday,
I have response to it.
And we have been told to re-register SIM cards, but the only identification card to do this is the Ghana card. Well, the minority has been opposing this. Let's hear Samuel Natejo speaking about this.
The current legislation that backs SIM registration in Ghana is the LI 2006. that was passed by Parliament in 2011 under then Minister for Communications and now Minority Leader Honorable Haruna Idrisu. This legislation saw the registration that happened in 2012 in the country. The legislative instrument, that's the LI 2006, does not mandate the linkage of the Ghana card to activate a SIM card in this country. The National Identification Authority Act 2006, Act 707, and LI 2111, which introduced the use of the Ghana card as a principal document for registration of a number of national cards, including SIM cards, bank accounts, passports, cannot be applied retrospectively to SIM cards that were registered legally and legitimately under the existing LI 2006. Section 7 of LI 2111 makes the use of the Ghana card mandatory, but does not make it the sole card for the purpose of registration. And this is a very critical point, because you hear the ministry say that the LI 2111 says that the Ghana card is the only card to be used for the registration of SIMs. That is not correct. And we can quote for you what the LI says specifically, so that you, and I would urge you as media men to take the LI and look at it. LI 2111, Section 7 says, mandatory use of national identity card. 7.1 says, a national identity card issued to an individual shall be used for the following transactions where identification is required. A, application for an issuance of a passport. B, application for an issuance of a driver's license. C, opening of individual or personal bank accounts. D, purchase of insurance policies. E, purchase, transfer, and registration of land. F, transactions pertaining to individuals in respect of pension. G, transactions specified under the National Health Insurance Scheme. H, transactions that have social security implications. I, consumer credit transactions. J, registration of voters. K, payment of taxes. L, registration of SIM cards. M, application for public or government services, facilities, approvals, permission of benefit. And N, any other transaction which the authority may determine and publish in this gazette. Now, the point we make here is it says shall be used, but does not say shall be the only card used. And so, if you remember when we had the voters registration, they accepted the Ghana card as a basis for registering for the new voters ID card, but also allowed other national identifications. So for the minister to then say that only the Ghana card will be used for registration of SIM cards is an abuse of LI 2111, and it's not backed by any law. We accept that the Ghana card can be used for the SIM card registration, but other national IDs must also be accepted for registration of the SIM cards.
Someone at George, the deputy ranking member on Parliamentary Select Committee on Communication, highlighting reasons for which the minority is opposing this decision, which was announced by the Minister for Communication as close to some time last month. And it has begun. Well, if you would want to re-register your SIM card, the only identification card to do so for now is the Ghana card. Let me start off with you, Alhaji Jamfaru. Are these concerns not legitimate enough?
Otu, as far as re-registration of SIM card is concerned, I want to believe that we are a lawful country.
Right.
Anybody who sees or who thinks that there is breach of any law, are you getting me? The platform to settle it is not on the airwaves. Go to court. If you think there is any breach anywhere, you just go to court. But you see, NBC has always expressed their total dislike or hatred against the Ghana card right from its inception. They have always indicated their readiness to oppose anything that relates to the Ghana card because they don't understand the concept itself. Their concern here is not only about the use of Ghana card. They are talking about the duration of the registration too. We'll look at the two. I'll look at the two. Regarding the Ghana card, my brother, we were in this country that before the concept of the Ghana card is that we need to have a single database of all ID cards. In 2015, I had the opportunity to attend a workshop.
Right.
And it's made up of African public sector services. So they came together, and there was this lady from Rwanda. They made a presentation. They have a one-stop shop card that links all the governmental institutions to that particular card. That, for instance, if you go to bank, the card, your bankers can only access your banking information. If you go to the hospital can only access your health information. There's no way it will overlap. So when we look at the card, we speak to you now.
Right.
Before it materialized, we were in this country when in NDC, 2007, His Excellency John Ajekun Kufuor started the whole process. However, when the NDC got the opportunity to serve this country, between 2009 and 2016, they messed up the whole thing. Intentionally messed up the whole thing. The investment that went there totally messed up because they are just against this principle. They are just against it. They are happy having a scattered and disjointed country. 3 days ago, I met a lady and she needed to give me an ID card. When she pulled her purse out, I could count about 20 ID cards. About 20 ID cards. And you could see that she was frustrated, flipping through. She'll pick this, not. She'll pick this, not the one. And I said, oh, so do you use all these ID cards? He said, not every day. We want to avoid such situations. As we speak to you now, don't forget that the national ID card itself, my brother, is a very fantastic policy that if you want the benefit of this country, you want this country to move forward, I beg you need to back it. When we were to do it in 2009, NDC 2012, thereabout, 2017, 18, thereabout, my brothers in NDC opposed it. They said they didn't want it. They said they told Ghanaians that they should not participate in the registration of the national ID card. But on the pilot basis, the first people to get registered, Harun Edrisu, Mutaka, so, they were the first to get registered as far as the national ID card is concerned. Meanwhile, they told the public that they should not. You see the integrity we're talking about, the integrity crisis we're talking about. Today, as we speak to you now, do you know that Sam George has already registered? The real registry, he has already used his own ID card to do it. But he's on radio and TV saying that it should not be the only thing. Look.
Which he informed you about.
You know it. Everybody knows. Because as for them, I gave you a practical example that they say something and they do the direct opposite in the quiet. The direct opposite in the quiet. Even just the registration for the voters, voting. They told us that they will not participate. We should not register. But as soon as we started, they were the first to register.
But the concern here is not about the use of the Ghana card.
Yes.
Their reason is that it shouldn't be the only.
The point I'm making is before you got the card, we use the passport. Some use the passport to get the national ID card. 2 of us.
Well, it wasn't accepted in some cases because
which cases?
Even the NIA boss has spoken about this. Professor Matefu has spoken about this. He says, let me quote the exact thing he said. He says, during the mass registration, there were people who went to registration centers with Ghana passports but were denied the right to register.
Yes. Why?
Why? Because upon interrogation, it was found that they were not Ghanaian.
Fantastic. So it's not everybody. So it means Ghanaians who had passport. Listen to this. Ghanaians who had passport were made to register.
He continued to say that a passport is a primary document
I read
establishing your citizenship and eligibility to travel across borders, but there is a limit.
Yes.
and that was the reason why many others were not allowed to use the passport for the registration.
That's what I'm saying, that as far as the Ghana card is concerned, Ghanaians, are you getting me, were made to use the passport to register and other documents. So before you got the ID card, okay, all other cards that we are talking about were used as the primary, the base to get the Ghana card. Then you now ask yourself, if we say the Ghana card should not be the only, meanwhile that particular card, the root of it is coming from all that you are calling. So what is your concern now? What is your case? We are told that some have not gotten their cards. And what have you? Yes! Out of over 15 million cards that have been produced, are you getting me? Over 14 million have been issued. So it means that it's about 1.3 million cards that are yet to be distributed to the people. So the point is, have they made these cards available? Yes. And they went further to say that during this registration, one national ID card can register up to what? 10 people. The most important thing is that, look, we want to make sure that we identify.
But there are many other individuals who have also not received their cards yet. A whole lot of them, I mean.
If you said a whole lot of them, I told you that those who have not received is between 1.2, 1.3 people. I've made that point clear. I've already made that point. I said about what energy has been issued. So go to your municipal and district assemblies and pick up your cards. Unless those who have not actually registered. Are you getting me? Unless those who have not actually registered. So if you have registered and you have not been issued with your card, are you getting me? I'm telling you that go to the municipal assembly and pick up your card.
But they go there and they are being told to go to the headquarters. You get to the headquarters and it has its own challenges over there.
Fantastic. This is where I'll sympathize and empathize with such individuals and call on what is the authority that we should not frustrate people. We should not frustrate anybody.
Is that not a solid point enough to indicate that, well, then other identification cards should be allowed to be used in the re-registration?
What we are doing is this. I'm telling you that we are building a very big database. That database, we are synchronizing all ID cards to it.
Right.
So if we don't have a single source, are you getting me, into it, we will have different routes. Then at the end of the day, the purpose of which we are doing this will be defeated. It will be defeated. So, you see, we should not be dragging this issue.
But
some things are difficult to do.
Look at the process that was involved during the registration of the new voters ID. We are being told by the Electoral Commission that, well, this has helped ensure that only Ghanaians have the new voters ID. Why don't we use that also? Why don't that also become an alternative for the re-registration?
Fantastic. And I'm telling you that eventually even the EC's database will be put into the main national database. So if you have the opportunity to do it, why don't you do it now? Are you getting me? Use the card and register. The point I'm making is this. The opportunity now is that we are building a bigger database.
Right.
With a single source. All cards are to be synchronized into it.
Right.
If today the opportunity is there to do it, why don't you do it? The opportunity is that you use your Ghana card. If you have not received it, go and pick it up and do it. So that that card becomes a very clean system that we are going to use to monitor what is happening in this country. Look, the issue we are discussing is a very huge issue. Otu, it's a very big issue. Look at it. If we allow people to have multi-cards, are you getting me? And we don't have a limited period. Today, as we speak to you now, do you know that there are people who have registered some SIM cards with some kind of cards? Today, you go into the system and you can't find the original of those cards. Are you getting me? Somebody will call you, MTN, Vodafone, or other telecoms, they are not able to trace the source of the person. Now, if we are able to put all this together, look, you cannot use a SIM card, in other words, a SIM in this country, without your identity being known. There are those that will want to use MTN for some time, move to other places. Before you go there, there is database that you can be verified. Don't forget, some of them are having some products. Do you know that there are people who are using some of the products, for instance, the Momo, they borrow. Are you getting me? They borrow Momo for a period of time. If you don't take time, they throw out the chip.
Right.
And go and
have you re-registered yours?
Yes, I've done
You've done that.
Yes.
What message did you receive after?
No, that I'm to go and I've been given a unique code.
Yes.
That I'm
and you've been scheduled for biometric capture.
Exactly.
Right. When we were registering the Ghana card, our biometric captures were taken. So if the Ghana card should be the only identification card to have this done, why don't our biometric captures, which were made during the registration, being used for this?
I don't get your question.
You've been scheduled for biometric capture.
Yes.
When we're registering for the Ghana card, your biometric capture was taken.
Yeah.
So why the need for another scheduled date for a biometric capture?
That requires technical explanation, of which me sitting here. Like I always say, if I don't have information on a particular issue, I don't pretend. So let's leave that one to the technical, or we'll get those involved in the technicalities of this thing and ask them, and they will explain. I will not conjecture. Are you getting me? But I only tell you the importance of we having a single ID card for all. So that at the end of the day, Ghana economy will be formalized. There will be issue of same box fraud. You see an individual having about 500 same boxes, SIMs and what have you, using it to do a whole lot of bad things. Do we allow this to continue? No. So let us all come together. No matter the challenge, this is a good cause. You may think you are fighting for the ordinary, that they don't have ID card, the national ID card. So look, all of us must come together, make sure that this national ID card remains as a test. Then we have a system where when you use your card, when you use your SIM card, 3 days ago, there was a lady in my area. Somebody called her that somebody has sent her money. You know, some people are so gullible, excuse me to say. Somebody has sent her money. Within a twinkle of an eye, within 10-20 minutes, the lady has been duped of 2,000 Ghana cedis. We tried calling the service provider. We were unable to trace the person. But the person has already withdrawn the money. So, with this system in place, individuals of the sort, even if we are not able to get 0% of them, it will be reduced to the barest minimum. And the target is to get all of them out of the system. So, my brother, yes, we are calling for a system that is so clean. Let us all come together to make sure that we participate. We have registered. I want to believe that we do so. The NDC people who are shouting or talking about this and that, legitimate as it may be, but the concept is that we want a clean system. Legitimate as it may be, we want a clean system. So we don't want to mix the cards. So let's put all together and make it cleaner so that Ghana will be a better place to live in.
Thank you very much. Kingsley Amaliba, let's hear you 15 minutes.
Yes, I will go very well. You see, President Akufo-Addo bribe issue.
You are taking it
back. I will respond to it. Why? I'm not going back. This is Ghana Web. Wednesday, 12 December 2020. Kwaku Baku reveals who recorded Ronaldo bribes video. And we went on to mention the guy's name as Yakubu, Salis Yakubu Achiloho or something, of Salis newspaper. Kwaku Baku, we know who he is. Confirmed that Ronaldo indeed took the bribe, and the gentleman who videoed him.
Well, if you are poor, you never made that statement.
They allege.
You are not using the word they alleged.
They claim, don't even they claim
you are not
it was a doctor. It was a doctor video.
Read further. I'm telling you, read further.
Okay.
Yes. Metro TV, hold on. Please. Hold on. Before please. Metro TV showed the original. So you don't know. Please. It was false police. It was false police. Show the original video. I said original video doesn't show this. Please. Original video I not show. You understand that? So if you should not allow you to spread the body. Please. You do not stand. Please.
He took a bribe. And wrote the write-up. Yeah, but that is why he wrote all
the
corrupt and private gift in that library. How do you call it? Diary. He recorded it. Don't forget, Ghana Ohine Nto Committee of the MPP, before he became president, his own party set up a committee to investigate him.
Okay. To investigate who?
Akufo-Addo them.
Hey,
please. At the end of the day, it came out.
Wow.
Indicted for financial malfeasance of the MPP party coffers.
Which I never heard.
You never heard of
you cannot. You cannot. What viewers are you are just continue exposing your life. You can continue exposing your life. You understand that? To the
control. Only just committee indicted him for being corrupt, and therefore it hands on his neck. They never cleared him. Interestingly, he said he has turned to be a tale teller. He is telling tales on this show this morning. But let me make this point from the onset. NDC is not against a national identification project.
You destroyed it.
Please.
No. You destroyed it.
That will synchronize.
You destroyed it. 8 good years. You destroyed it.
Keep quiet.
8 good years. You destroyed it.
That will synchronize all the data we have.
It's never true.
Into a single platform. We are not against anything.
You got the opportunity. I want to do for 8 years. You spoiled it. You destroyed it.
Before something can be done, you see, these people, they are utopian dreamers.
No.
Who always engage in building castles in the air by figment of their own illusions and imagination.
You don't say anything. Go to the point. You destroyed the. Please allow him
to power. We realize that for us to be able to get a national data system, there is a need to have an infrastructure for it. You collect the data, but the storage of the data is another issue. Not just collect it. You should be able to restore it, and you should be able to have an infrastructure that restore the data and have it permanently, so that anytime you want it, you can have it. And remind you, when we are able to build a single data platform, it can even assist the police in their criminal investigations.
Right.
You understand? If I pick your phone and samples of the phone is taken to a forensic laboratory, the police can be able to detect that Haruna indeed took the phone. You understand? So it can help in combating crime. Nobody in his right frame of mind is against that.
You destroyed it. You are against it. You destroyed it.
You keep quiet. Let me talk.
You are against it. You destroyed it for 8 good years.
Thank you. Please allow him.
We need to have the infrastructure first. So the National Data Center, the biggest in West Africa, we built it under President Mahama. It's completed. That infrastructure has been handed over. Okay, so now we have the infrastructure. We can then go into rolling out the data we want to collect so that we can restore it. NDC also builds facilities across the country like IT, etc. that can make system accessible. For instance, the Eastern Corridor Fiber Optic Cable Project from Keta to Yendi, Napanduri, etc. was done under President Mahama. 37 million euros project. So NDC is not against it. However, if an individual in his own opinion states something which might be contrary to the party's position, it cannot be said to be the party's position. MPP members have made a lot of comments. If we are to rehash them, it will go against MPP. But can we take that as an MPP party position? Probably no. So we should be able to decipher between individual opinion and party position, because the party is a corporate body. You should know that. Remember that.
But why are you driving at with that statement? What you just said, that we should be able to draw the line between individual statements.
Very well. At a given point in time, an individual can express an opinion on a national matter which the party hasn't set a position on. Do you take it as a party position?
No.
No. If it comes from a platform like what my big brother Sam George have done, we can take it, because he represents a minority caucus in parliament, which is the authoritative wing of the party.
Right.
Therefore, the press conference he addressed yesterday, he did that for and on behalf of the party.
Right.
You understand? If you listen to Sam George carefully, he raised issues that why the insistence to use only the Ghana card for the registration, but not other national identification cards like passport, driver license, voter ID card, etc. But the national identification card is what should be used. My brother, I will tell you why. I have a document in my hand here for the penny fee a Japadie book. You see, restricted. This is a confidential book prepared by Nana Adoatv Kufuor and his inner clique. This document was leaked few weeks to the elections.
Which elections?
2020 general elections. I am taking to page 20 to read it to you and you hear it. Viewers can come.
Let him show where Nanado is in there before you can relate it to him. Okay.
Viewers can listen.
So you should show us where Nanado is in there before you can relate it to Nanado.
This book was forwarded.
So where is Nanado in there?
You can
say to someone go write your own things and come back. You can say it in your own heart. Right. But for me coming in, you would have been reading this bogus document he wrote on his own or they wrote on their own. Because you don't have any source to it. You cannot give credit to it. So it's not every material that you have to allow it to be read on this platform. A material like this should not be read.
He has claimed and he has the right to do that.
You should not allow documents like that. Everybody holds anything that and comes here and come and dump it. We should not allow this. So you should show us one another is. Please, relax.
Can't we allow him settle with this?
Yeah, but this document.
This is what we
settled ourselves. Can we allow him?
I don't have a problem with that. Should be let him flow.
Why am I sitting here? To allow you read anything? You understand that? You don't know what behavior is. Look at what. This is a good behavior.
You get.
No, this is a good behavior. Don't fight. We are not here to fight. We are not here to fight. Relax. I'm telling you, relax.
I should relax. Those watching it out. Please, it's
no, it's not about behavior. If you talk about behavior, look at what you are doing. Please, we are not here to fight.
We should give respect.
We are not here to fight.
That you should do it.
That is fine. It's okay. Thanks. That is fine. Please. Let's end it. Please. Let's end it. Let's continue. Right. Thank you.
We currently do not have much hold in this sector. Telecommunication, page 20, and they continue. The critical role that telecom companies play in the life and economic fortunes of this country requires us to make a strong entry into that sector. After they are done clearing people from the banking sector, they are targeting communication. And they continue. The successful planting of Kenny GVG into the telecom sector has given us an unparalleled advantage in terms of having a view of activity flow within the sector and the ability to monitor communications of persons of our choosing. You hear that? Very important. The intelligence gathering power allows us to target and eliminate any potential threat from within the MPP, particularly those not inherently loyal to our cause and Allah, which include members of opposition MDs. Their intent has been revealed. So you see why he's resisting me and prevent me from reading the document.
Please, you would have time to do that.
So what? This document, it is coming from a Kufuor's own family. Or for the Peninsula Ajapadia. This is the book.
Which we know nothing about.
Yes. Oforiata forwarded the book. This is Oforiata. And you know them. Can be William Oforiata, can be Ken Oforiata, can be whoever. But we know who the Oforiata is. My brother, Ghanaians must take this issue seriously and insist on our right. The whole agenda is to do what is to engage in what we call wiretapping. Okay? Wiretapping, because they want a single platform. And mind you, National Identification Authority is being manipulated from the first staff out. That is where the secretariat is. So, using the card, they have all the data. And now they have the data. They have told us that planting Kenny GVG in the National Identification Authority has given them a one-step entry into the telecom sector so that they can now be in the right footing to monitor conversations of people and eliminate any potential threat. Who are they targeting? Are you safe? So if government have the intention to wiretap conversation of citizens, you have a privacy? You don't have a privacy? No. So the question that Honorable Sam George asked yesterday is the use of Ghana card only. In any case, do you have Ghana card in this country? Do you have Ghana card? We don't have it. All we have is ECOWAS card. Maybe so. It's ECOWAS card. That card is written on top, ECOWAS card. So do you have a Ghana card? And these are people. He was accusing NDC as criminals. What can be more criminal than this? There is a book called The Case for Impeachment. The legal argument for removing President President George W. Bush from office, authored by Barbara Olshanky and Dave Lendoff, investigative journalist and a law lecturer of US. You recall, 3 days after September 11, I think a week after September 11, that was 15 September 2001 to be precise. President George W. Bush signed an executive order from the from the White House, authorizing National Security Agency of US to wiretap conversations of American citizens. It was the breach of FISA. You know what FISA is? Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1974 or 1977, you know of them. That law was promulgated by the US government to allow the government, upon any reasonable suspicion from the intelligence community, that if a foreign government or a foreign entity or any other person from the foreign land is plotting against US government using agent within, the government should be allowed to wiretap the conversation and then pick those people who behavior are threat to national security. US government went to court, went to Congress, and Congress passed the FISA Act.
So why is the minority not heading to court then?
I'm coming. I'll come there. The law, what it said is that in any case, if the US government have a suspicion of that kind, they should go to a federal judge, state your reasons, and allow the judge to approve to you if your reasons requires a reasonable grounds for that wiretapping. The federal court will allow it. But the Bush government didn't do that. It became a requirement or a case they made that Bush government should have been impeached. Now, you have a government in office that are targeting people. You know it, I know it. When this issue came earlier, I remember it. Ghanaian, in daily graphic, some citizens went to court. I don't know how the court make a determination on that matter. I am yet to find out. But this whole intertwined issue we're talking about, it borders on the privacy of citizens. And every Ghanaian has a right to his privacy. It's a constitutionally guaranteed right. It's our inalienable right. Forget about the gymnastics, the acrobatic that is happening. Forget about it. I will not do any re-registration because I have done it. I won't do it again.
Then you would have to consider your SIM card block.
Oh yes, let them block
after March.
I can go without the telephone. Let them block it. I will go without the telephone. Let them block it. But for me to view myself for a criminal wiretapping, I will not do that. I won't. But that time will come. They shouldn't think that they will control political power forever. They should never think so. Sometimes I blame our leadership.
Just 1 minute to
I blame our leadership sometimes. They sat on radio, they sat on TV, and they threw tantrums. They showed they flexed their muscles. When you came to power, you didn't prosecute that and so and so.
You have nothing to prosecute.
The past is the past. But going forward, we would deal with these issues proper. And the first person to stand trial will be President Akufo-Addo himself. But you know, listen to their template. Listen to their template. How to register your SIM card. Conclusively. If you listen to the dial, it is star 404.
Yes.
Okay. Enter Ghana card PIN. Confirm Ghana card PIN. Enter name. If the system were to be well structured, the moment you enter your PIN, your details will come.
Even with the biometric capture.
You get it? Your details will come. Why create this template?
Right, thank you.
Your
time is
up. To upload your data in there.
Thank you.
So someone can have access to
you. You see, if you don't have anything to say, you set your own question. And that's why my brother just succeeded.
What questions did he set and what answers?
We are just talking about the main issue has to do with non-inclusion of
other cards.
And you want to be talking of tapping. So if they include the ID card, the voter's ID card, what he's talking about, will they solve it? Otu, when they include other cards, all that you spoke about, will that be solved? If you don't have anything to say, don't just talk. If you don't have anything to say, don't just talk. The issue of tapping and what have you see, yes, you can rant. You talk of ECOWAS card. Because you have hatred for the policy, you refuse to understand it. You just refuse to understand it. That card, what is happening is that the system we are using, very soon all African countries are going to use the same system. So that they also register their nationals. If you have that card, you can move to Togo without using your passport card. You can move to Burkina Faso without using your passport. So if you don't understand it, just humble yourself to be educated. You don't know what's happening across the country, the sub-region, Africa. So very soon, all African countries, even before that, Togo, they have what is called carte nationalité. Okay, whether you like it or not, you have that card. And Ghana as a whole, we don't have anything of the sort. Put that one aside, my brother. You see, if you don't have anything to say, don't quail. And day out, I say to you, the very video he was talking of Koku Baku was rather exposing their talks. No, hold on. It's very, very important that
No, I mean, but that is not part of the discussion today.
But once
we shouldn't divert attention to that.
Hello, once you allow the attention,
divert attention.
I'm not diverting attention.
So let's speak to the substantive.
It's related. No, it's related to corruption. Hold on.
What we are
discussing. So at the end of the day,
ended that discussion already. Let's focus on this.
No problem. But I have to make that point. That the video he was making reference to, okay?
No.
The video was making reference to, at the end of the day, it has not stand. And every Ghanaian who saw the original video saw that NDC with their malice, it will not, it never, you understand, it never succeeded. So put that one aside. Corruption is there. Mahama is the first vice president to be investigated as a result of what? Corruption deal in common hunger. Mahama's money is spent.
Can we stop this corruption conversation and focus on?
Okay, this. Because if you allow me, I'll continue to expose them day in, day out.
We should.
That's what I do. So the point you're making is that NDC simply have hatred for the policy. He started to talk about the fact that they built a national what is it? Data something.
Yeah, they said IT centers and the like.
He's forgotten to understand that the concept of e-governance was started by NPP in 2006. So the e-governance is the base. Then you will now build infrastructure based on the e-governance. And look at this. This is a statement. Speech delivered by Director General NTA, Mr. William Tevier, their old man under NDC. Listen to this area. The e-Ghana project was launched in 2006 to introduce the way government does business and improve governance system delivery to citizens and businesses. Since its inception in 2008, the NITA has been in charge for the third component of e-Ghana. If you read further, it went to talk of ICT and what have you. There's no time to read all those things. Yeah. So the concept, the base of it, of the ICT and what have you, is the e-governance project started by NPP. So right from the word go, NPP really have an agenda to make Ghana a better place for everybody, making sure that things are put in place in the right way. So when we came in, before Manado came in 2017, in 2006, His Excellency John Ajay Kufuor saw the need for all this. So the investments were made for them to come and add one or two things to it. So don't sound here as if you started the whole thing. The base of it is from the NPP. When you came in and you got the opportunity, what we are discussing today, we wouldn't have spent this time if NDC had been very nationalistic and patriotic enough to have continued the project. 2009 to 2016, I said, go and check. Millions of Ghana cedis were wasted. And today, we are using our airtime to discuss this, something you have already showed your total hatred for. They know it. That when we synchronize or when we make this country a very formal they will be at the disadvantaged end. They know it. But going forward, I'm telling you that we are on course. If you think that something is against the law, my brother, the best place to seek redress is the law court. And luckily enough, Amanda is sitting here. Adoatv is just close to the courts around. If he thinks as a citizen something is wrong here, when we finish, I can even help him. You go to court to go and lodge the complaint. So they don't just have a case. The reason why they are opposite is just for the sake of it, because the tactics they are enjoying now or they are employing now is that whatever the government will begin from now to 2024, let us come out to oppose it. Anything that the government will do, because the more we are coming out with more projects, more programs and what have you, the more they are pushed into opposition. So let us just be deliberate that whatever the government does, whatever policy, whatever program that the government will bring in place, let us just oppose it. And that's what they are doing. But people of Ghana know that anytime NPP is in power, we are there for the people, with the people and by the people. What we will do is to do what the people want us to do. So put all this together, this system has come. Fellow Ghanaian, everywhere you are, anywhere you are, there are certain things, doing them is not easy, but the outcome is always sweet. Bitter medicine, then you get what is the result of what? Getting cured. So what we are doing now, wherever you are, no matter the inconvenience, please and please get yourself involved. My brother has indicated that he will not get registered. But Otu, today's date is what? Today's date is 6 October 2021. The project will end March 2021. 2022. March 2022. Yeah. All other things being equal, barring the extension. If there is extension, fine. If there is no extension, please, I want my brother and I to come and meet here again. Okay. For us to find out whether indeed he has registered or not. Because as for them, in public like this, they seem to be very sympathetic. But in that case, they know what they do. He will go and register. I'm telling you, he has not even registered. He will register. But for the sake of opposing government policy, he will sit here and sound as if he's opposing. Right, Kingsley, if you listen to Alhaji Janfer so well, then what's the conclusion is that we should draw your we should just treat your concerns as usual with a pinch of salt. Engage in compendium of insinuations, nebulous and amorphous argument without substance. It's a complete fiasco. You see, your government have done things right. As we speak, the things that you have done right, you've been able to resolve the UTAC saga. And UTAC have... Is that the subject matter? No, is that the subject? You see, please. No, please. Once he's doing this, you are inviting me to other areas. I also did same to you. You understand that? No, please. The corruption was an issue we discussed. Please. I did same to you, but you never allowed. No, the point I'm making is that... Stop being distractive, please. The corruption issue we all discussed. Please, okay? So if you bring this, and if I want to do something, allow me to do the interaction. Fantastic. That's where he is. Okay. That's his behavior. What the that's where he can Master, you can't do this. You don't have anything to say. That's why you leave the topic. You understand that? You don't have anything to say. You will leave the topic and go and talk something. He has nothing to say. Okay. Please, Master, I represent very please. You are very your behavior shows that you are intolerant. You understand that? Take defense. You understand that? That's the way they are. No. When I put was in opposition, he was calling Mahama and his appointees incompetent. Yes. Mahama said he is a super incompetent. And he said, where I can't understand this. You know Mahama is incompetent. Thank you. Go ahead. You see, the government have done everything right. Ghana is in heaven now. But UTAC is back on strike. That is not the substantive matter. Has anything to talk about. The issue here is that I have made the point here and again. So you should not repeat. That NDC person. NDC. He has made it. He has nothing to say. Master, let's move to, or you will give me the time to talk. He doesn't have anything. Please allow. He doesn't have anything to say. He's just repeating himself. The importance of it and how it will even help us to combat crime. Right. Doesn't mean we are against it. You have already gone against it. Like the Trojan horse. Yes. Fear the Greeks even when they bring gift. These people, we fear you. Every step they take is criminally minded. Every step they take is criminally minded. You know what you say. Right to you. Their secret plans. No, brother. And the things they're doing behind the scenes.
He hasn't disputed that, and he can't deny those.
But I've bullshitted this document because it has no source.
The issue.
You understand? I will not waste my time talking about it. We don't have anything to talk about.
Please draw your conclusions.
We don't have anything to talk about.
Alhaji Jafar, thank you. Please.
We don't have anything to talk about.
Please go ahead.
The issue is not about sitting here and engaging in speculations and attacking people.
That's what we have just done.
The fundamental
that is what we have just done.
The fundamental point here is that the motive should be questioned.
No, I mean he keeps mute whenever you are making your submission. Can you please do same? Please.
Don't worry.
Please. Thank you.
Can't keep quiet. That's his character. That's his character.
You say this to me, and I also come in and let you know that this is how. When I was speaking, you were even starting and as if you want to speak. I think you want to beat me. I think you want to beat me.
It's unacceptable.
That is fine. Continue.
It's unacceptable. It's a sign of a failed government, which have done nothing, regardless of the money they have borrowed for the past 5 years. Over 220 billion Ghana cedis. That is that to show. What you can then engage in is that let's go register some card to show that we have done this. There are many issues. Fuel prices are going up. You mentioned this one by the next 3 months. But there were going to be power outages. Yesterday I slept in darkness. And foodstuffs are skyrocketing in market and all of that. These are the main issues. These are things people of Ghana want the president's government to sit down and solve. Not a registration of SIM card that become something which have nothing to change the life of the people as we are in now.
Right, thank you. Kingsley Maliba Haruna, the ADC team member. And before we proceed, need to let you know that we disassociate ourselves from several allegations which have been leveled here. Yes. So
yes, will not touch it because you know that the document
let's move on to the other topic for discussion. So several parts in Accra have begun experiencing power outages, and it's begun yesterday and it's run through till December 5, 2021, and this according to the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GridCo, is to undertake some planned work. That is what's determined within the Achimota and Accra Central lines. This was contained in a communique to the Electricity Company of Ghana. Some of the areas to be affected, let me run you through that quickly. And it's been categorized into 3 groups, categorized into Group A, B, and C. So Group A, Adabraka Old Timers, Mamprobi, Choko, Agege, Latibi Okoshi, Valco Trust, Teachers Hall, among others. That is for Group A. And for Group B, Apollo Theatre, Asaliam Down, Adabraka Markets, Kole Gono, Sukura, Mamprobi Polyclinic, Jamestown, and Mata Heko. Group C includes Central Police Station, the Kokobot, Kingsway, Abutse Okai, Choko, Apia Dankwa, Graphic Press House, Net, among others. And just as usual, as we know, in the morning at 6, and it will be switched on in the evening at 6 p.m. I would start off with you, Alhaji Jamfaro. You know, the Energy Minister has on numerous occasions insisted that Ghana is not slipping back to the, let me say, dreaded days of power outages, popularly known as Dumso. But here lies the case, every now and then there seems to be some sort of Dumso.
It is true that every Ghanaian dread Dumso. Every Ghanaian. They say Obia or Canada no. So who so another then no true bring. Because we know what Dumso has done to us before. For 4 good years. We saw what Muhammad subjected Ghana to as far as Dumso is concerned.
And what we are witnessing is also heightening fears.
Yes, that's what I did you hear my the statement? I said Obia or Canada no. Who or so another then no true. So the fear is based on what we went through for 4 good years. Okay? Where hospitals have to use torchlights to be able to perform operations and surgery. Where Muhammad told us that we should not even charge our phones because charging our phones amount to the consumption of electricity, hence the power outages. As we were going through this same power outages, fuel prices were just skyrocketing. If you put all this together, any Ghanaian will dread do so. And as at then, we made it loud and clear to you Ghanaians that, look, the issue of doing so was not about capacity. Because as at then, the peak demand was about 2,300, 2,400. And we have the capacity of 2,700 with excess reserve. We were only left with ability to power those, pay for the fuel and what have you. And they couldn't do it. Hence the doom so. Eventually, they created the problem, and they said they were solving the problem, and ended up suffocating Ghanaians with more problems. But put all this together. Since we came in, Otu, look at how neatly dressed you are.
Same as you are.
The same as I am. The same as my brother. Well ironed. Those days, if not box iron, like how would you have ironed your dress? But today, the lights are on. From 2017 up to date, lights have been on. Instances where there were lights out were when we were changing the cables that transport the power. From 1960, there hasn't been any serious investment in the transportation of power. Hence, what happened in 2020 where we were changing most of the cables. And our boys, in other words, people like, hey, Dumso is back, Dumso is back. I said, why you say Dumso is back? If you say you solved the problem of Dumso, you brought capacity, what have you? If you solved the Dumso, why should it be back? That tells you that, and they themselves went further to say that it was because government could not raise money to pay. Confirming what we said was the original reason why we suffered Dumso in 2012 to 2016. Because they were not able to raise money. But we came out to say that, look, it is because we are changing the cables. And we're given a timeline. And as we speak to you now, all those areas that suffered the temporary light out as a result of that, what is the change of work, have all been given back their lights. Come to this area. If they come and tell us, one thing I like about this is that at least information is key as far as customer relations is concerned or customer service is concerned. If you give information to your customers, they are able to plan well, they are able to know how to go about their things. So I like this particular information. Unlike those days, we didn't know where we were when the lights will come and what we were just total in Dumso in Dumso.
But we knew it's go off
Dumso
at 6 in the morning and come
because it became so permanent. But as to where we go off. Okay, but these people were so open enough to let us know that as a result of planned maintenance activity, these areas will go out. And my brother, me, there are two things I fear in life, if possible three: electricity, water, and fire. Where there is water, if you ask me to go and cross it, master, you need to brace yourself. I'll oppose it. Seriously, I don't like crossing rivers. Electricity, anything about electricity, I only know, but I don't want to get closer to it. So if somebody should risk his life to make sure that things are done the right way, do you allow these lights to be on for the person to get electrocuted during the process? Definitely the lights will be put out to allow the maintenance to take place. So if they come out to tell us that, hey, for this period of time, we want to do A, B, C, D, I want to believe that as reasonable as Ghanaians are, who have already enjoyed regular and stable power from 2017 to date, I want to believe that they will see eye to eye with this intervention. Right. At the end of the day, what is the purpose of the intervention? Is to make things better. Are you getting me? Right. Is to make things better. So if their work is to make things better, fellow Ghanaians, wherever you are, let us give them the opportunity, because they have already demonstrated that they are giving us stable power. And they have given us stable power. So if they will make maintenance to ensure that we get permanent power in a better way, I want to believe that Ghanaians will cope. However, ECG and Greco, what we're saying is that they should be able to work within the stipulated time.
Right.
Because living in Dumso or another, living without power, as you call it, Dumso, is very uncomfortable.
Right.
It's very discouraging, or it is very. I mean, it's not good to live without power. So we're calling on ECG and other bodies that this period that they've given to us, they should be able to work within the time, so that by the time they finish, power will be restored to all areas and it will become better as usual.
Right. Amaliba, I think if we pay critical attention to what Alhaji Jamfaru had just said, then fear shouldn't be heightening among Ghanaians that the country is gradually moving towards the unbearable Dumso era.
The end will justify the means. But when it comes to power generation capacity in this country,
right,
taking Nkrumah out, the next NDC government, the history and the record speaks for that. The first time we had power outages in Ghana was, I think, in 1986. That was the first time we started having power crisis. Because at the time Kwame Nkrumah was building Akosombo, where the tradition he belonged to opposed it, and even went to organize demonstration in the US and seek to discourage US government from sponsoring the Akosombo project. They came to power after the aborting Nkrumah's government decided that the next 50 years Ghana wouldn't need power, so nothing should be done. And indeed, Buzia government, led by him, Buzia, Dr. Buzia, and Edward Akufo-Addo, the current president, father, they did nothing about the energy sector till the champion came and removed them. No significant investment was made in our power sector until we started having problems in 1986. That was the time running bit at the Abuaze thermal plant and a few others. The power was able to be sustained for some time. But year in, year out, the Ghanaian population keep growing. We need to extend power to communities that don't have. For instance, by 2008, our great national system was, I think, 54%. By 2015, we've moved from 54% to 81%. Okay? Over, I think, 30% or so increment. There are a lot of communities that are supposed to be linked up to the national grid. All requires an increase in supply of generating the power. Otherwise, if you haven't generated the power, how do you serve all these communities? You can't serve them. During NDC tenure in office, particularly under President Mahama, we had the power outages. There are a lot of issues which happened at the time. But Mahama's appointees, who were entrusted with the mandate by the president, didn't do him any good.
Right.
There are certain informations I can't divulge them on air. Be that is me, and whatever be the case, President Mahama accepted responsibility as a leader and promised the nation through the floor of parliament when he delivered the nation address that I, John Mahama, will solve it. And let me tell you a few things we did. Former President Kufuor time, they brought energy sector recovery levy. Do you recall? That was a tax on fuel we bought. Oh yes, that was first on petroleum products, and then the charges on our utilities. Money which was accrued from that levy or that fund didn't go and solve the power sector issues. They used the money to sponsor party communicators. Diversion and misapplication of the funds. So when NDC came to power, all these government subsidies in the past regimes had been piled up, and it became a debt which was threatening the power sector. So we look at how to resolve it. Number one, Ghana have become an oil producing country. When we become oil producing country, before then, the few thermal plant we had, so the main source of power was Akosombo Dam. And the few plants we had in the system, like T31, started by Kufuor's time, and some others, and Adoatv, for instance, all of them, or most of them, were depended on either live crude oil or 2007 to 2006, 7 to 8, when Kufuor's government also had that problem. The first solution they preferred was to carry some supposed men of God to Osogbo to go and pray on the dam, crying that heaven should open up for rains to fall to fill the dam. That was the solution they proposed. Later on, the West African gas pipeline was built that was supposed to supply us gas, but we cannot rely solely on that. Especially when around 2011 there about or 12, there was a ship that docked on one of the ports and on the pipe, and it became a problem because for some time our gas flow from Nigeria was toppled, which forced us to rely solely on crude oil, which was giving a stress on the national purse. So to work this problem around, we decided that fine, once Ghana is producing oil, there is a natural gas automatically which is produced from the field. What are we going to use the natural gas for? So President Mahama government built $1 billion Atrabo gas project. Ghana Gas Company was established by former President Mahama. Not only that, we built 3 FPSO Kufuor, Kwame Nkrumah, and Atamels. Not only that, we went to Parliament and enact ESLA, Energy Sector Levies. NPP chastised us. But when they came to power, they are now reaping billions from that fund. They have even incorporated it into an SPV. They have gone to the bond market to raise bonds. So the money they are supposed to use for the purpose by which that fund was set up, they have diverted it. Now, they are telling us that part of Accra is going to wallow up in darkness for the next few years, for a few months. All that he said, what has changed? Has it changed from the fact that people are going to live in darkness? People are going to live without light? Indeed.
Part of Accra for a
last night, I didn't have light. 3 days ago, same.
Yeah. Well, we are told it only began yesterday.
Not true. And mind you, when you buy power, the prepaid meters, the way it runs, it shocks you. We were here when the government claimed that they were giving free light during COVID.
Right.
And free water. They turn around, introduce new taxes, send it to Parliament. When Okojo Upon Nkrumah came and told us before Joy News that government incurred 19 billion Ghana cedis debt hole in the fiscal space, and therefore they need those taxes to fill it. Liars. Liars. It didn't end there. Now they're telling us that it's because of plant maintenance. Plant what maintenance? In fact, Greenco and ECG had procured services of people to install transformers, and those people have not been paid. We are not having this conversation the first time. You remember earlier this year, the same issues came up, and the explanation they gave was completely incoherent, disjointed, inconsistent, and unreasonable.
Right.
And we are back to it again. So what Ghanaians need now is power. Because before NEC left office, we added 1,931 megawatt.
Right.
When Kufuor has been in office for the past 5 years, he hasn't added a single megawatt.
Right.
Dr. Mahama conclusively.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And is there no
communication, but the show is live and interactive, so you could also join us with your thoughts and comments on our WhatsApp number, and also you could drop that on Facebook in our comment section, and in due time I'll be reading all of that for you. Our phones are activated too, so you could also phone in and join us with your thoughts. Thank you.
Mr. Otu.
Yes, boss.
You see, Ghanaians, we thank you for always having trust in MPP, and let us keep faith that you will continue to give MPP the right, your voting right to continue to govern this country.
Right.
You start here and pontificate here, forgetting to know that the very oil you base your argument on was discovered by MPP. where you are basing your argument on. I mean, it was discovered by NPP. To the extent that when we brought this to the people of this country, that fellow Ghanaians, we have discovered the blessings of God in our land. Amaniba, through Asedun Ketia and the NDC, they told us that it is what? Ajongo. Have you forgotten about this? They told us this. That is not true. It will never happen. But for God so being wonderful, we saw it, and they were the first people to benefit from the oil. So if you sit here and you sound as though what you did came from heaven, it started with the effort of NPP. We discovered oil for you. That's point number one. Point number two. Master, when the thermal plants were being expensive, the very projects that had been on plan, drawing board, since this in Nkrumah's time, that we spoke about, that for the number of years we've been in power, we never did anything about them. The big project, who secured funds and started the project? It's the same NPP. So if you will talk about we and talk about power, please be reminded that Ghanaians know that when it comes to all those things, you have failed this country, and it is we plant that power dam that NPP handed over to what NDC. So you can't go there. West African gas pipeline, another product of His Excellency John Ajekun Kufuor, handed over this to you before you left. The main reason why there were no gas flowing was because NDC was
for me. House I speak to my first caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Your name and where you calling from, please?
Calling from Koko.
Right.
Please,
let's hear you.
Why do we, please, we are allowing that black pot Gafaro to be calling
the black pot.
A pot black, a kettle black. we should let him know that Ghanaians are not having any good faith with NPP. NPP is a bogus party.
Right.
He should stop misbehaving at the studio.
Right, thanks so much.
You should stop misbehaving. Gafaro should stop misbehaving at your shouting and shouting at your studio.
He has heard you.
So
you're welcome.
If I proceed, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, but I'm to tell Ghanaians what they want to hear.
He is also a Ghanaian.
You understand that? To tell Ghanaians what they want to hear. Those who voted for NPP. Are you getting me? And those who know, as we speak to you now, Espio Gabra, he called on NDC that they should benefit, they should participate in NPP policies. The former MP for in the Eastern Upper West, he said, look, NPP is the best party in this country. His own party came and he was poorer. But through NPP's planting for food and job, he's now the richest person over there. So my friend, yes, you may have your allegiance to a particular party. But as far as governance is concerned, people of this country know that better party between NDC and NPP is NPP. So we'll continue to serve people of Ghana well. You move to West Africa.
Let me speak to Momoni. Momoni, good morning.
Waiting for them to be in power forever. And this president, this current president, they promised to come and protect public place, and yet when they came to power, we couldn't see anything. What they could do is to loosen Ghanaians. They can't do anything. They even borrow more than any of the governors in this country, but we have nothing to see in this country. They claim that they come and solve Doomsday problem in this country. Meanwhile, the former president did everything to solve Doomsday before they came into power. So
thank you, Momoni.
Making nice to us.
Thanks for calling, Momoni. You're welcome.
So, like we said, this is what Mahama would have ended Doomsday. This is Ofosu Ampofu, if he had been retained. Director of Elections of the opposition NDC, Samuel Ofosu Ampofu, says former President John Dramani Mahama would have ended the Doomsday crisis confronting the country if Ghanaians hadn't voted the government out of power. Ofosu Ampofu. So my brother, be informed. Mahama didn't solve Doomsday. Put that one aside. As far as West African gas pipeline is concerned, it was one of the biggest property left by NPP to NDC. But when they came, they collected the gas, suffocated Ghanaians with taxes and prices, but they were refusing to pay. Left debt. Master, don't think they will continue to give you gas without you paying. So there was that debt, and they told you that, my brother, once you refuse to pay, we will not supply. So it was not about any accident anywhere. It was total incompetence as a result of NDC's inability to raise money to pay. When we came in, the first thing to do is to pay over $60 million to settle that debt, hence the inflow of the gas. So put that one aside. In the history of this country, if you talk of a government that has engaged in rural electrification project,
right. Frank on the line, let me speak to Frank. Frank, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. Where are you calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling from Volta.
Right, let's hear you.
Please, this government has failed us. It has failed us. Let them stop what they are doing and what they are saying. They have failed us. I'm suffering. They have failed us. NPP is no party. Okay. Let them forget what they are saying. Nothing is true. Propaganda. Okay.
Thank you, Frank. You have to end for me.
So if I proceed, so in the history of this country, if you need a government that embarked on huge rural electrification project, is Bush's government, historically uncomparable. And we are proceeding on that tangent. You were talking of how to solve them. So look, Otu, when you are given the opportunity to serve, you are not given the chance to suffocate your people. NDC created Dunso. In an attempt to solve Dunso, they again gave us a problem where we have what is called pay. What is it we call it?
Before you remember that, let me speak to Samuel before we continue. Hello, Samuel. Good morning.
What you are doing to me, dear?
Yeah,
I would want you to recall what.
What the NPP man is doing is not good. You know, he's distracting the show. Yeah.
Right.
When he was speaking, the NPP man was right. So you should be quiet when the NPP man is speaking as well.
Right.
And I believe he has nothing to say because the government has still Ghanaians. That is why he's doing that.
Thanks for your submission, Samuel.
Okay, so if I proceed, you created problem. In an attempt to solve the problem, you rather worsen the problem by coming in with what? An agreement with independent power producers. You know today, the pay or take policy, the amount of money the government is paying for, nothing. As a result of their bogus contract that they signed. If you want to abrogate that contract, you'll be slapped with what? Judgment debt. So you allow the contract to proceed. Hence, the concept of what? Renegotiating some of the policies. And as we speak to you now, look at this. 51 million saved for renegotiated Ameri deal. And as a result of that renegotiation, I have with me here, Ameri welcomes the renegotiations. So we are able to solve the Dunso and also renegotiated that Ameri deal to solve the problem. So NDC came to solve to create problem and worsen the problem, but we are problem solvers.
Thank you very much.
In conclusion, to conclude, what I'm saying to you is that
that's the length of submission, right?
Electricity is concerned. Are you getting me?
Good.
Do you know that as we speak to you now, investigations, some are going to court, went to procure mischievously some of the prepaid and do you know the person who led it? Forcing created
thank you very much. We have just 6 minutes. Electricity. We have just 6 minutes to end the
show. So in conclusion, what I'm saying is this: as far as electricity is concerned, they've given us the information. We have the lights on. They have to work on this work. They have to work on them. Get us stable power everywhere you find yourself, whether Accra, my hometown, everywhere you must have power, and that's what we are committed to do.
See, the response from our viewers, they are the best judges of what we are doing here. Do I need to say any further?
You don't have anything to say.
But shamelessly, as he is, and his people he represent, they have no shame. He said that Buzia government did what? The whole of Northern region was dark. Rollins gave them power. Rollins gave us power.
We have to lie.
Voter region. Rollins gave them power, as well as many hinterlands within the forest belt. So when it comes to rural rectification, Rollins government stand tall from 1981 to the year 2000.
We have to create the stories now.
Akufo-Addo have done less than 1% of rural rectification since he came. Let's put that aside. He's talking about judgment debt. before I come to judgment debt, he said they have.
But remember, you are doing all of this under 2 minutes.
Yes, they have renegotiated contract to save money. What were those contracts they negotiated? The minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, I am told, came and did that press conference and lied. He couldn't mention one. The judgment debt as we speak. Your attorney general sat down, watched on recklessly for Ghana to lose $175 million from the International Court of Arbitration. Judgment debt. You sit here, you say what?
Oh.
Look, Ghanaians are the very they know who solved who. All the litany of lies, falsehood,
your own chairman.
They are spelling here.
Your own chairman.
They are spelling here. Dr. Mahammadu Bawumia
yes.
sat on Joy
fantastic
and told us that Muhammad deserved no credit for solving himself.
Because he created it
January
and claimed to have solved it. He said he claimed to have solved it. He said he claimed to have solved it. He never solved the problem.
As far back in 2019 November, on Joy News, considered that they haven't added a single megawatt. If they said that car power and all the plans were needless, I am daring you and your government to shut the plans down and see you don't have power.
Right, and let's
it's about generation. You are not able to pay. You are not able to pay. You are paying. Okay, we are paying. We are paying. We are totally
you please
send this country to stop shouting. Stop shouting.
Thank you. That is enough. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. We do really appreciate your time. I like communication team member and Haruna Kingsley Amaliba, NDC communication team member. There are some few messages trooping here. Let me read them before we go. The humble G8 says, "Good morning, Utu. With all due respect, the NPP man is making the show destructive. He should be calm when the NDC man is speaking. That's the life of MPP party. When they have nothing important to say, all they do is to distract." And from Positive Change Mandina, Ghanaians will never forgive this insensitive government for the kind of unbearable hardship they've subjected us into for the past 5 years, and we shall punish them for their wickedness come 2024. Seeing people suffer makes me feel bad as a Ghanaian, yet a president fed by the poor see nothing wrong with it. Sadly, his followers tell those complaining that they are lazy and don't respect the president. This is how we've reduced governance to average Ghanaians can't have 2 square meal per day. Too sad. I'm Dr. Down Blow from Brimso Apewo Sika. And that's how we wrap up for to Apewo Sika. Right. His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is God sent. Ghana is grateful to have him as our legitimate president, and this is coming from Openi 80 Kaswa. And that's how we wrap up for today's edition of the Ghana Breakfast Show. It's a pleasure coming your way. I did this with Lady Julia. Nanyima Collison brought us the Ghana News. Yawampo from Junior was here with a sports segment. Thanks so much to the production team, Selassie McLean, Lester, and the entire crew for making this a success. Thanks so much to you two for watching at home. Isaac to Political Babyface is my name. 6 o'clock a.m. tomorrow. Let's meet. Have a wonderful day.